Hey, what's up? I don't know about you. We're having fun. We got the goofies. It's going to be a weird one tonight. Hope everyone's braced and ready for it. Hi, I'm the Bleakseason. I'm your GM tonight. Welcome to the Superior Adventurers Guild, which has nothing to do with our ego. It's all about Lake Superior. Just thought I'd clear that out before we get accused of having fat heads. Hi, tonight we begin a 5-part conclusion, the first season of the Shadesong Saga. Last saga is called In the Shadow of Our Pale Companion, which continues my love for lifting the names of metal songs to title my stories. I'll let you Google it. It'll be played out over the next few weeks in 3 sections, plus a bonus interlude in the middle in there somewhere. Our saga tonight is Ophidian and is episode 1 of a 2-episode arc that features 4 of the villains we've seen or heard about during the first season. You can catch up on everything that's come before, as well as dine on lore and background info by visiting my online journal at bleakseason.com. You can also watch Saga 7, The Well, and Saga 8, Blackbird's Cry on VOD here and on our YouTube channel. Probably not here anymore, but certainly on our YouTube channel. Saga 9 should follow soon enough if it's not already there. Tonight's game will take place primarily in the city of Dawnfall, a sort of prison colony for supporters of the Necro King defeated 50 years ago. Playing a bunch of villains is always a bit of a touchy affair, and so I went out of my way and got some of the best players I could find lurking in the shadows with a blade between their teeth. And I would like you to meet these killer players right now as they step out from around the shadows and introduce themselves. Hi. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're big chillin'. How you doing, Bleak? How you doing? We're good.
Big chillin'.
Big chillin'. We're all really kind of low-key.
Huge chillin'.
Huge chillin'.
We're literally chilling like villains.
Chilling
like villains.
Zing. Bing bong, fuck your life.
Bing bong.
Wow, and before we get started, I guess I should mention that tonight's game is going to be rated M for mature, as it's going to be a little darker than usual, and you know we have these weirdos online with us, and there's no hurting them. I tried earlier to sort of coral them and herd them into, and it's not happening. So, you know, I totally out of my hands. I have to deal with it. I'd like to introduce you, first and foremost, to Darling Creepshow. How you doing, Darling Creepshow?
I'm fabulous. I'm not sweating at all. I am Darling Creepshow. I'm just your resident creep on Twitch. I play TTRPGs like D&D, and I paint D&D miniatures on my stream. And tonight I'm going to be playing Githra Bloodclaw. And she's more of like the tall, dark, stoic type. So I'm really excited to dig deep with her.
And Creep plays in my Blade Runner game on Sundays, the incredible Phyllis Dietrichson.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a good time with that. So make sure to come in and check that out. So it was a good time. Thank you very much, Creep. I'm super happy to have you in this particular game. It'll be a bit of a different.
Stoked to be back.
Yeah, playing what, tall, dark, and stoic. You could have stretched in your role playing a little bit. What are your dogs doing behind you? Next up.
Oh no.
Next up, the man we like to call the Scoos because his name is the Scoos. My beard brother, Scoozy.
Yo, what's up? I am Scoozy, and I bring the newsy. And you can find me at Scoozy News on Twitch and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be playing one of my other characters, Nemesis, which is going to be quite fun. I'm going to be playing Noir. Dude so chill, he doesn't have any other names.
It's like Prince. He's like that level of cool.
I don't know. We'll see.
That's
a lot of pressure. Hold on a second. Let's take it down a little bit.
Dial it back a bit. And Scoos, you've broken my game once before in Shadesong, so I'm sure you're looking forward to doing it again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's on video, pal. You can't escape it. Speaking of being on video and not being able to escape it, my other brother in beard, the Flizzard. Sup, Omar?
Hello, hello. How's it going? My name is Omar or Flizzard. Some of y'all might know me as Nat6 on Twitter. Just another guy doing some shows. I'm also on Blade Runner as Fadir Galvin. Somebody is also on video. At least he thinks. We'll find out more. And tonight I'll be playing Darkath Ilrune. Pretty much a petty man with an ego and the skills to back it up.
Exactly, based on me. It's sort of an autobiographical character.
I felt it. I felt the energy, and I felt the detail when you sent me his information. I was like, I'm there right now, more than anything else you've ever written.
Yep. When I send you a character background that starts with "I was born in Canada in 1974." Hey, tonight making her grand debut on Guild Superior for the first time. Probably not the last, unless, she breaks me mentally. The Mandy. Not any Mandy. The Mandy. How you doing, Mandy?
I'm doing great. No promises about the breaking you part. I refuse to promise that, especially because Creep's here. And when we get together, great things happen.
Yeah.
But hi, for those of you who don't know me already, I'm Mandy, or the Mandy, all over the internet. Literally, my name is the same everywhere. Just Google me. I currently DM the Homebrew Forgotten Realms based campaign Dungeons and Dinglings, which we do Friday nights, 8:00 Eastern time. So that's me. And tonight I am playing Clavia Impera, badass human Oathbreaker paladin.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm really stoked to have you here. I was desperate for someone good to come and join us. And Creep was like, well, I could ask my friend. And history was made. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for...
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure's all ours. All right. We shall dive into this whole train wreck of villainy momentarily. A few more shout outs to do before, because these things don't make themselves. I want to thank you all so much for being here, people in the chat, my players, especially the players. You all really inspired me to crank the vile darkness up a notch or two. So we should be in for a swell time. As I mentioned, I'm Bleakseason. You can find me at the Bleakseason on Twitter. Before we begin, I would like to extend a few thanks, some shout outs to some people. Big thanks to Andy, my producer. Here on Shadesong, who manipulates all the things behind the scenes. Thanks also to Miko for some of the artwork that I'll be displaying later on. Shout out to Tabletop Audio for the groovy music you're listening to. The incredible animated dungeon maps on Patreon, whose stuff I just can't get enough of. And Hero Forge for the little minis that we use, because I kind of like the slightly goofy aspect to go along with the vile darkness of my games. I think it brings out an interesting little tension. Special thank you to Dave for all the overlays and all the last minute work and all the help, and to Whiskey Fumes, and Ashley for the production from the production team, as well as all the members of the Superior Adventures Guild in our Discord playing our games, including our awesome players here tonight. Drop by our Discord, make yourself at home, maybe get into a game or two. Who knows? Crazier things have happened. And with that, everyone's ready? Everyone is ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. Let's pull the pin on this grenade. All four of you have, for your own reasons, offered fealty to the strange being known as Fugue. Some of you have been doing her bidding for some time. Others have only just recently soiled your hands. But now you're all traveling to the Tavern of the Four Winds, situated somewhere between the Orcan lands of Hruken and the Dverg Highlands. The tavern is situated in Four Winds, a small roadside trading outpost that sits in the shadows on the mountains surrounding Kettelheim, the hidden valley where it is said giants can still be found. The town, more a village really, is small and cozy. The tavern, stables, a smith for repairs, a general store, few ramshackle homes for the people who operate all these concerns. The winds come down the mountain and keep the area cool even in the summer months. And now, in the winter, that wind cuts right through your leathers and furs. There's no snow here yet, but you can smell it in the air. Darkath, Noir, and Clavia, you arrived in the night and found warm rooms waiting for you. Even you, Noir, who doesn't really sleep anymore. You spend the day resting and preparing mentally, for you've been summoned here by Fugue, who has a mission for you. Now you're in a dark corner of the common room, trying not to attract too much attention, and waiting for Fugue and a fourth member to arrive. Outside, Gethra Bloodclaw. You've ridden for a day and a night to rejoin this group after the debacle at Marshal Strecker's estate. You know Fugue will be displeased with your news, so you've decided to bring it to her face-to-face. There's not much left to do at Strecker's estate anyway, at least not until the magical firestorm raining lava and flames down on it dissipates. As you pull up to the inn and leave your horse behind, what do the fine but simple folk of Four Winds see?
They see a very large orcish woman. Orcan, right?
Yes, Orkin.
Yeah, Orcan woman. She has dark skin, almost black, and very pale gray eyes. She stands at about 6'1", so she's very tall for a woman. And she has really dark red hair that's all fitted back into this spiraling bun in the back of her head. She's very muscular, very strong looking. And when she dismounts from her horse and walks towards the inn, you notice that her posture is just straight as an arrow. She walks with pride when she walks wherever she goes. Her face is dirtied from the long ride. There's some dust in her hair. So she's going to kind of pace around towards the back and look for a barrel of water to rinse her face off and let the long braid down of her hair and try to pat the dirt off of her head before she goes inside.
You do find sort of a rainwater barrel that collects the rainwater so that they can reuse it inside. There's a couple of drunkards hanging out back, sort of finishing off their afternoon liquid lunch, but you can certainly access the water barrel and do a little bit of a cleaning off the dust. As you do so, one of the guys behind you, you hear, "Ah, damn. Hey, Rod, you like him tall? Check this one out." The other one's voice then follows, going, "You sure that's a woman?" I'm not too sure. And then you hear footsteps kind of coming up behind you. So one of them goes, "I'm not sure. Maybe if she let her hair down a little bit, we'd be able to tell if this is man or woman." And you can just feel his hand coming up behind you, about to touch your hair.
She's whip sharp in her reaction, and she snaps around and just grabs this man by the wrist and looks him dead in the eye and says, "Do not touch me, you filthy beast. Your hands, you have no honor. You do not deserve to touch my braid." And as she's speaking, she's just crushing his wrist slowly.
You hear the bones just mashing together and sort of just disintegrating under your power. Yeah. Let go. I'm sorry. But he's like, "Come on, let him go. He's just drunk. He's just drunk."
She kind of, still holding him tightly in her grip, just kind of tosses him like a rag doll to the side and looks to his friend and says, "Would you like to test your luck today?"
No, it's all right. I need both my hands to work. We'll just get out of your hair. He goes over and helps his buddy up, who's cradling his hand. What the hell happened? I don't know, but let's get out of here before she decides to do the same thing with your skull, Rod. Then he sort of hauls him off down the alley.
She'll finish her ablutions and slowly tie her hair back into the spiral behind her head and pace around and into the inn.
As you walk into the inn, you find yourself in a fairly dingy sort of ramshackle inn a little bit. It's definitely a place that has seen better days. There's a first floor. You can check on the map if you want. There's a first floor with maybe 10 or so patrons. There's the tables are mostly just boards on old barrels, and the light's very dim and it's very smoky in here. There's a couple of fireplaces going and they're burning, coal and stuff. So it's very kind of dark and smoky and sort of disgusting smelling in here. And when you walk in, people look up a little bit, but this tavern being kind of in between the Orcan lands and the Dverg lands, they see all kinds here. And there's even a couple of Orcans you see in here. And after just giving you the cursory sort of, once over, most of them realize that you're probably bad news and go back to staring into whatever mug or bowl they have in front of them. Upstairs, Darkath, Noir, because no, that's right, Darkath. Never mind, Darkath. Sorry, Noir knows Clavia, Darkath knows Gaethra. You do remember Darkath meeting Gaethra once when you were up in the north, getting down to some dirty business for Fugue in Blashirk in the far north, and on the way back, when you'd stop by to give Fugue the bad news of your failure, which was perhaps a couple of weeks ago. You had met briefly Gaethra Bloodclaw, the captain of the Mercenary Orcan Union, and as you finish your drink upstairs, the door and downstairs, you hear it open and sort of slam back, and when you look over the handrail, you see downstairs Gaethra, who's sort of looking around.
I let out just a medium kind of scream, just to be like, Gaethra, esteemed ally, welcome. Come join us.
You see her face look up to you, and she's just expressionless. She's clothed in all like dark colored leathers, trimmed in wolf's fur, and she has her iconic massive great axe on her back, and she slowly ascends the stairs and meets with her companions.
As you approach, you see a table where three people are sitting. These are people, some of them you know a little bit better. You've met Noir a couple of times. The others you've met perhaps once each. But you see the three of them sitting around the table. And as she approaches, what would she see? Let us start with Darkath, who has already spoken to her.
Darkath is very gray skinned, but very like Eldrin, and his very sharp and clean features, despite his other people, if you've ever met Gray Eldrin who weren't as lucky, he seems very fair in terms of, just clean, happy, very well off. And in a lot of senses, he's wearing a nice red set of robes. If you are familiar with anything expensive, you'll know that these are finer robery, even though they don't seem very loud or anything like that. It's just very muted, very nice. You can tell it's very comfortable. It's got just a staff on his back and a bag with a couple of things, nothing too particular. His dress is very simple. And you would see he's always wearing a little bit of a crooked smile. Some people might describe him as uncomfortably warm all the time, in the way that he approaches everybody.
The real snake. Speaking of snakes, sitting next to him, sort of perhaps hiding out in the shadows a little bit more, is Noir, whom you've not met quite as often, Gaethra, but you've heard of him. He is apparently a special project of you, but what does she see as she approaches Noir?
Well, Noir is sort of resting one of his hands like idly on the table, and you can see it like twitch every once in a while. He's got pale skin that looks like stretched over his frame a little bit, kind of sunken features, like the knuckles are very prominent. He's not like thin, like there's just no fat, it's just skin and then weird like muscle bulk. His eyes are almost like gray, like the whole way through. And if you look for too long, you'll see that when they move, every once in a while, one of them like moves a little bit before the other one. And his skin sort of clings to the shadows. And some of those shadows, every once in a while, like roil over his features, and something will change a little bit. Like perhaps his lip is a little sunk on one side, and then like it'll change. He's wearing a like deep blood red cloak with sort of embroidered eyes all over it, and he is his other hand is holding this staff, and he kind of looks up and just goes, "Oh, again." And he ends his sentence with a deep breath and then holds it forever.
Not creepy at all. Not creepy at all. As unsettling as that is, at least the last member sitting at the table appears to be somewhat more normal, dare we say. As Clavia Impera glances at you as you come up the stairs. Clavia, what does Gethra see?
Gethra sees a somewhat tall for a woman, 5'8" perhaps, sitting back in her chair, looking imperiously over the rest of the tavern, drinking a glass of something dark brown, perhaps some sort of whiskey. And she looks you up and down, looks at your compatriots, and simply waits for her to speak. In terms of clothing, she's wearing a variety of gold-stained plate, large pauldrons with crimson accents, crimson skirt, big spear on the back. Muscular as well. She looks strong, even though she's not, 6 foot. Imperious. That's the word you think when you see her.
Imperious, I like that. So Gethra, you approach and find yourself a spot at the table. In moments, someone will be by to take your order, but for the first time, perhaps, you certainly remember I met them once before or twice before, but it's the first time the four of you have been together all at the same time. Here tonight, you're still waiting for Fugue. You figure you probably have a few minutes to get reacquainted, if that's something villains do. Do villains get acquainted with each other?
Imagine my character is, as she approaches and everyone kind of introduces themselves, she just nods and will take her seat and remains very quiet, but also very alert of everything happening around her.
As Gethra sits down, you see Darkath just raise a slight eyebrow, look back at the rest of the table, and just kind of slouch over with his arm in his hand. Kind of jingles a little bit from just little bracelets and trinkets that he has as a sorcerer, and just drums his fingers on the table rhythmically and just looks at everyone kind of one by one. It just looks bored out of his mind, like doesn't want to say anything, and he's just staring one by one at anyone. And after a couple of moments, he's like, well, do any of you have a real personality, or are we just going to sit here in silence?
Gaither's just gonna lift an eyebrow at him, of kind of like a, oh. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I didn't want to talk to half of you anyway, so I guess we'll just sit here for failures, if I understand correctly, waiting for...
3. Actually, it's 3. 3 failures. I did my job.
And what was your job?
I don't think it's proper to discuss such things in open company. She motions to the tavern.
That is a fair point, after all. Well, then what do we talk about, everyone?
What we're doing.
Hi, how you
I
doing?
expect.
Welcome to the tavern. Can I see your drinks are empty here. Can I get you anything? Would you like some see we've got some ale?
Something strong, please.
Right.
Agreed.
Make that 3.
Right. You don't want to hear the specials?
No.
Oh.
I believe we said strong, not special. I think that's pretty straightforward.
We have
I would like to hear about the specials.
all right. So we have ale that's on special today. It's a little watered down, but these things happen when it's been raining, cats and dogs, and so they're getting into. So we're discounting it. That's what we're doing. We're discounting it because we also got some sweetbreads, fried, with really not much else because there's just not much around here. But they're fried at least, which makes them kind of crispy and good. And that's it.
You see Noir just kind of holding that breath with his mouth open a little bit, and then the server will hear in her head telepathically, like, none of that sounds good to me. But you don't see his mouth move at all. I will have something strong as well.
Right. So for strong things, and she starts backing up, and she's just staring at. And Noir she's just kind of caught a glimpse of your face as you sort of lean forward, and it's not every day that you meet a walking corpse. So she's like, okay, yes, all right. Well, I'll be back with your strong drinks right away. And she barely doesn't make the corner. She's going so fast as she goes down.
I don't think she likes you very much. You know what would be fun if you did something about it? That'll pass the time. And I'm looking at Noir.
I don't care what she thinks of me.
I just kind of pause and look at him.
We sit here in our failure, and you must drink your shame away, and you are bored.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, maybe I don't have...
Is it my job to do something about it?
It wasn't something about me. I just wanted to have a little bit of excitement, get the team dynamic going, I guess, or whatever it is the adventurers might do at this point.
Perhaps we shouldn't embarrass ourselves any further.
I don't even think we've started yet.
Speak for yourself.
Sorry, did you have an embarrassing story, Gethra, that you wanted to share with us?
I have nothing to share with you.
Act as if we haven't had such a great working friendship so far.
Don't think whatever she's bringing is going to be strong enough.
You and me both.
And certainly not fast enough.
You
Fabia is looking for wherever the hell the servant girl went. she's not going to get up, but she's going to look about.
You sort of look over the bar. You can see downstairs. She's at the bar, and she's like talking to the bartender, and she's pointing sort of up where you are. And he's like, you know, he seems to be like warning her, like, not to sort of mess around. And he's putting a bunch of glasses with a little flagon of something strong on the little her little cabaret, and then she picks it up. And when she picks it up, she's still shaking, so the glasses are all kind of clinking together, and you're not sure she's going to make it upstairs.
As she's walking upstairs, I gust a little bit to see if she falls over. A little cantrip.
So you do the gust, and just as she's sort of coming up the stairs, it kind of hits under her cabaret that she's lifting, and as she tries to kind of correct for it, the glasses sort of go flying, and the ball goes flying, and everything crashes, and she kind of falls on one knee, trying to pick up this stuff as it's rolling down. Everyone's sort of looking up at this crash, sort of what happened. No one applauds because that hasn't been invented yet.
I'm gonna mage hand one of the flagons before she spills it, and just walk it across to the table and set it down in front of Darkhath.
Oh, oops! But here you go. You can have it first. I just wanted to show, and well, at least I've passed another 10 seconds of my life.
As this happens, Gethra's gonna get up. She is like just fucking livid. There might as well be smoke coming out of her ears. She's been writing all night, and she just kind of like silently stomps away and down the stairs to get her own drink. As she's walking away from the table, she's muttering to herself, well, I can see how some of us are failures.
At this point, Clavia's going to get up and trail after Gaethra.
You'll catch up to her at the bar, no problem.
I'm going to try to like beat her to it so that I can order us both something.
Do you do this while trying to remain like kind of cool about it, or do you like?
I'm just being subtle. Just kind of slipping past.
No problem. The bartender is sort of looking over. He's like, yeah.
Just hurry up and get us something strong, because I don't feel like waiting for your clumsy girl to finish her job.
Right.
Hurry up.
Yeah, on it, ma'am, on it. And he goes over and grabs a bottle just as Gethra arrives at the bar. He puts up
Hey,
the
good
bottle.
money to be here, you know.
Yeah. I sure hope so. Yeah, here you go. Do you want glasses for the other two upstairs? I'll just give you glasses. He puts 4 glasses.
Mm-hmm. The bottle too.
Yeah, no problem. All yours, all yours.
Good.
Then he goes off to help the girl.
I pour one out for Gaethra, pour one out for me, and I sit the rest on the bar for the moment because they can wait. Do you actually want to talk about it or fill us in, or do you just want to drink and maybe talk about it tomorrow?
What is there to talk about? She's going to take her drink and instantly start drinking.
Fair enough. We have the job ahead.
Yes.
They don't deserve it, but I think we should bring this up and maybe start over a little bit. If I have to work with you, then we might as well get along, at least in that purpose.
Are you suggesting that I carry a drink upstairs for that clown?
Oh no. I was going to make somebody else do it.
I suppose we could try this again.
If he knocks the drinks over again, I will simply break his jaw.
That sounds like the most delightful thing I've heard in days. She's gonna just walk away and start making her way back upstairs.
I'm going to flag the nearest unfortunate server, whoever, man, woman, whatever, and bully them into bringing the bottle and the glasses upstairs for me.
Oh, yes, right away. And they don't take a cabaret like she takes.
Oh, man, come on. I'm proficient in intimidation. Can I intimidate somebody? Can I roll?
You don't even have to. They're like, these are just simple town folk, you know. Is it
the accent?
Automatically.
That's why people are so scared of me.
It's a little bit of everything. But this one's smart. She puts it in like little pockets in her apron so that, and then she just sort of holds it and comes running up the stairs after you.
Off you pop. And I will trail up after them. And I am just waiting for them to knock this shit over. I'm waiting for it. I got an itchy trigger finger. I'm ready for it.
She arrives at the table. Good evening. Puts out stuff, the flagon and glasses.
You're dismissed.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Can you clear the balcony, please?
Oh, yes, that too.
Sure. Sure. She runs over and there's a couple of guests at her table and she'll move in when they're not. She's like, she moves them down. You find yourselves alone on the balcony with your hard drinks.
You don't want to know what will happen if you spill any more drinks this evening. So enjoy. And she'll sit down.
I'm just glad I broke the ice. That's all. Look at us. We're all talking now. The service has gotten a lot better.
Quick to take credit.
Gaithra's finally like cracked a smirk at Clavia's last comment.
It is a team effort, Noir. It wasn't something I said I did. Here we are. Some privacy too. Look at that.
Noir will pour a drink out into whatever glass and just hold it there and look over at Clavia and say, you said you met with some success.
Indeed.
It seems the room is ours for the time being.
Well, I did as few asked. And got what I wanted all at the same time, so I'd say I was perhaps the most successful out of any of us. Avalyn will no longer be a problem. Ever. And you know that is in reference to Prince Avalyn of the Magisterium.
It seems we were all in Vale at the same time. Except for Gaithra.
What of it?
What of it indeed? And he'll just pour his glass onto the floor and then pretend to take a sip of the empty glass and set it on the table.
Quick question, Bleak.
Yo.
Does Gaithra know what Noir is?
No, the last time you met him, he was an Eldrin. A little bit strange because he was clearly not a Grey Eldrin, but he seemed to think that he was. But, you know, you don't question those things. He looked a lot like Darkath, quite alive, quite well, but now he's certainly looking like, you know, not as alive and healthy as he used to.
Time seems to be unkind to you, Noir. Looking a bit pallid.
I don't know of any creature that time is actually kind to.
I see. How about you worry about your own failure? Leave me to ruminate on mine.
If we are all here sharing a table, I imagine at some point we might share in a success or a victory or a failure.
She looks at Darkath and then back, says, seems as if our odds are not looking so much in our favor more and more.
I always liked working with you, Gethra. You have a certain way to, I guess the best way to describe it is project your issues. You sit here more upset than any one of us, unable to even begin to fathom, to describe your own ineptitude, and have such a dark attitude about it, as if the people here aren't going to work towards the same victory for whatever ends you want. So either drink and tell us, drink and stop crying about it, or figure your shit out and stay outside until Fugue gets here. Because the war is better company than you right now, so maybe you should consider where you're at right now and whose failure is going to contribute the most weight to our success.
Maybe you should consider who you're speaking with right now.
I've considered it. And the question is, what of it?
You're insufferable. She's going to stand and take her mug and fuck off outside.
And as you turn around and head around the the balcony, you come face to face with what appears to be a young 15-ish year old human woman, girl, really, who's not holding out an apple to you, but when you come face to face with her, you certainly see that at her belt there's like a little bag with a bunch of apples in there that look somewhat rotten and past their due date. She is short and very slight, and has very haunted eyes, very pale, very colorless eyes, but underneath it, her skin is marked by what looks like black veins that run down from where her eyeballs are. And she is dressed in very old, dirty leathers and furs, and she, in fact, looks a little bit worse for wear. There are definitely signs of damages. She's recently been in some sort of combat or some sort of fight. Although she doesn't seem to be wounded, her clothes definitely show the signs of it. And as you always do when you come face to face with Fugue, you feel this this feeling of coldness, but it's not cold like the weather is cold. It's rather just this very inhumanity of her, like she's something that is really not of this world. She's something very alien, sort of very different, and it's almost like there's a void where she's standing, where even someone like Noir, there's a certain presence there, and like you can tell that there's a being there. And when you are in front of Fugue, you don't feel that at all. She's just this empty, shadowy space in front of you. She looks up at you, smiles, then looks up behind you and looks at Darkath. Gethra's failures are her own concern and mine, and not yours. You have your own to deal with. Perhaps you will stop annoying the rest of us with your own inadequacies and fears, and Let's get down to some business, Darkass.
You definitely see like a proud smirk creep across her face.
The grin on Darkat's face just keeps getting wider and wider. But of course, I've simply just been trying to foster some optimism amongst the troops. Huge. I wouldn't try to annoy anyone. Just constantly grinning and staring deadpan at her.
Well, I guess I should thank you for your efforts then. Noir, Clavia. It's interesting to meet you again. Clavia, I wanted to thank you and congratulate you on at least bringing some measure of success to my endeavors.
Thank you.
Don't let it go to your head, though. There's still much to do.
She kind of smirks a little bit, but not enough for it to be a smile.
Fugue will sit at the table with you, and each of you, as you see her, is sort of brought back in time a little bit over the last few months when each, for your own reasons, you swore some oath of fealty to her, and each of you now carries with you something that she gave you. She took the staff of the Necro King, which used to be made of 4 snakes entwined together with the 4 snake heads, and she broke it in 4, and she gave each of you a part of his staff. 2 of you still use it as staffs, but in the case of Clavia, the serpent has sort of melded into the spear, and in the case of Gethra, it has melded with her axe, but you can still plainly see around you the 4 weapons with the snake heads on it, and they remind you of not so much an oath, but of the compact perhaps that you've entered with Fugue. And as she sits down, some of you perhaps are wondering why you ever did this, but here you are. It's a little late to sort of back out. She'll sit down, pull her gloves off, and when she does, you see that her skin is very pale and has those black lines and striations and veins in it. And those of you who have dealt with the necrophage before know that this is a sign of someone who is inhabited by the necrophage. Of course, she doesn't seem to be injured by it or hurt by it. But you know that she uses the necrophage and controls it. So it's normal to see her skin being so marked. She'll sit down and she'll be like, I unfortunately don't have much time, but I have a very important mission for you. I'm not big on third chances, so hopefully we won't have to get there. We can consider this second, although some of you, and she looks at Noir, have already gotten a second chance. But this is too important for simple threats. I've brought you together because each of you has abilities that are interesting to me and useful to me, and you also all have characters that are interesting to me and useful to me. I certainly hope that this endeavor that I will lay before you now will be more successful than the ones I've laid to you before. There is something happening. There is movement. You felt that tremor last night. You felt that rumble in the earth last night. I trust it reached all the way to here. Well, that was the after effect of my own failure. So you find me in somewhat of a forgiving mood tonight, as I myself have proven to have underestimated some of the people we face. However, things seem to be on track on that side, but I absolutely need you to be successful in this endeavor. We're on the edge of a precipice of sorts. Things are in movement. Things are very precarious. We're at that moment in time where things either coalesce and come together into success or fall apart into irretrievable failure. I need you to travel to the city of Dawnfall. Do any of you know of Dawnfall?
I know of.
I also know of it.
Not in my knowledge, unfortunately. Fugue.
Well, Clavia and Gethra can educate you on the way there. It's a few days' ride from here. It is a city that is built upon the remains of an ancient fortress called the Keep of Othwin, which was destroyed several hundred years ago, 500 years or so. However, when the Magisterium and the Imperium defeated the Necro King, they needed a place to put all his followers that they couldn't bring themselves to kill. And so they turned that particular keep into a prison colony of sorts, where they've put all the people who fought on the side of the Necro King that were still alive and promptly abandoned them there. The place is run now by a group of mercenaries led by a Diavolk, calls herself Duchess Scoria. Duchess Scoria runs the prison, but also the mine that is built beneath it. It is a vile place, a pit of scum and villainy, so you should feel right at home there. In their recent excavations, the men of Duchess Scoria found a weapon, a sword, that long ago belonged to Shadesong himself. After his defeat at the hands of the Order of Oathwin, he left it embedded in Oathwin himself before disappearing. That sword was lost for a very long time, but it has resurfaced. The Duchess has it. I need you to go there and get it from her. Now, I don't necessarily need you to go there and kill everyone there, but I need you to go there and to talk to her. She has offered it to the highest bidder. I will give you whatever you need to get it. Purchase it if you can. Trade for it if you must. And as a last resort, well, do what you need. But I need that sword. It's called Quietus. If you cannot get the sword, you should destroy it. Or at least put it somewhere others may not get it. Does this seem feasible?
Should be simple enough.
What is this sword?
It belonged to Shadesong, the creature or being who, over 500 years ago, led a reign of terror, leading his armies throughout this land, destroying, slaying left, right, and center. He's also the person I am interested in ending.
Ending, you say? Is that another priority of ours?
It will be at some point. For now, I need the sword. We'll deal with Shadesong later when he arrives, if he is in fact returning. I have a vision for the future, and it does not include him.
What is this vision?
A place where people can be the very best that they can be.
Who is this Shadesong?
People have different ideas of who he is. Some say he perhaps didn't even exist, that he's just some sort of ideal. Regardless, he was around over 500 years ago. He led his army through the land. No one really understood his purpose. He simply walked across the land from one end of it to the other and destroyed everything he came across. It's very unclear. Some people say there's some mythical story about having lost someone dear to him and having sworn that if that person could not live, no one else would, or, some lame attempts at explaining why someone would simply choose to worship death beyond everything else. But some people just like death. In any case, the signs are there that he's returning after 500 years. And I want to be ready for that. Because, as I said, I don't plan to incorporate him into my future. Your future, too, of course. If you still want it, we are still all in accordance, are we not?
And there will only be the 4 of us on this task. No surprises, Fugue.
I must apologize for that. I did feel that having a little ace in the hole would probably be good. The one thing I can say about Clothgilda is that in almost 500 years of serving me, she has only ever disappointed me once. And that not very lately. So perhaps you should take a page from her book.
Perhaps if I knew all the pawns on the field, there wouldn't have been a failure.
Be that as it may, I'm certain that the assassination of Marshal Stricker was not the cog in your machinery. In any case, you can fill me in on the details of what went wrong at the estate. I hear there's a firestorm raging over it now. I wonder if it has anything to do with the explosion from last night.
Noir's eyes.
Clavia raises a brow at this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, exactly the same thing. Noir's eyes kind of glance at Fugue and then at Kithra.
Something funny?
I could not imagine a more humorless table.
Well, then why don't you make an effort to bring a smile to my face? Go to Dawnfall, leave immediately, bring me that sword, whatever you need to do to get it.
Those are the words I like to hear. Whatever you need to do to get it.
When you have the sword, meet me at Giant's Fall. Githra knows where it is.
As you wish.
Consider it done, Fugue.
How about I nod and wait for the results? She grabs the little bag of apples that's at her belt and puts it on the table. Goes, in case you get hungry. She gets up, puts her gloves back on. I hope to see you and the sword within a week's time at Giant's Fall. Best of luck.
I don't need it, but thank you.
She turns around and walks away and steps into shadows and is gone.
Typical.
You all are so cute around her. I love it. Look at you. Except for you, Clavia. You're kind of the same, I guess. But, oh, a little bit of shame in your faces. You love to see it.
She's just deadpanning you.
Yeah, I was gonna say Clavia is watching Gaithra to see how she's gonna react to that, because she doesn't have anything to be ashamed of.
Noir's gonna reach his hand that's been sort of like tapping on the table, like into the bag of apples, like kind of in the middle of everybody, and just pull one out, like, and kind of hold it up, maybe slightly between Gethra and Darkhat's like gaze, just like maybe not intentionally, like this is just sort of happens in the table, and then he like lets his hand go, and the apple sort of stays there, and he's like, I don't remember the taste of her apples. And he'll sort of push it over towards like probably Clavia.
Aren't they? I thought they were rotten. Table talk question.
Yeah, so they're green and black with like a yellow little leaf sort of hanging off of it. Now that you see it, they look rotten because they're green and black, but the flesh is perfect. They're not,
They're just weird looking apples.
Yeah.
I've had this before.
No, you have not.
I kind of look at it. I look at it with disdain.
Your victory apple awaits you.
I'd rather take my victory kill. I'm not eating that. So whoever wants it, you can have it.
We're supposed to be writing out in the morning, right?
No, she said right now.
Right now,
You
okay.
can do something else if you want.
Food.
Gethra's going to come down on the apple with a heavy fist and smash it on the table and stand. Let us not quarrel over nonsense. It's time we ride.
Yeah, slam the table. Tell us not to quarrel. Okay.
Lead the way, by all means.
Clavia is already getting up and walking out at this point. She downed her drink, slammed the thing down, and is like, let's just go.
I think
Doesn't
Dark
say a word,
Athlete
just
some money.
pieces out.
Dark Athlete some money with like an extra silver or two.
Wow.
Noir gets up and
Who's this guy?
cracks. And
Yeah, what? I was gonna say Clavia put money down, but no tip.
Noir just expected everybody else to pay for it. So
Just pieces. No.
Noir takes a piece of his finger and leaves it. Here's the
I'm trying to be serious, you guys.
he'll take a lock of like patchy white hair and just sort of take it off and then like wrap it around in like a weird little arcane symbol around the silver.
Don't like that.
Gethra, you'll need to get a new. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something?
No.
No, my character is just doing that. He's just.
Gethra, you're gonna have to get a new horse, which is not too difficult to arrange. You make an arrangement to get a new horse because yours is pretty tired from having ridden all last night. And you will start traveling north by northwest, heading up around the mountain chain. Travel there will be fairly simple. It'll take a couple of days. You'll find another sort of roadside inn like this one along the way to get some rest in, and it'll be fairly uneventful. And eventually, by the second day, you will arrive in view of a dawnfall. You can look at the map if you want. I have a little bit of an image of what you see as you come around the corner. You see 3 massive bridges spanning a wide lake, right at the foot of the cliffs that surround Kettleheim. A city, grimy, tightly packed, dotted with smokestacks belching thick, dark smoke into the air, sits right on these bridges. Some of the gray-walled buildings even overlapping the side of the bridges. It looks to be a place of dirt, disease, and misery. Beneath the bridges, you see a water break wall built around what appears to be a deep gorge. Cranes and scaffolding ornament the whole, and you can see tiny figures moving about, hard at work. You can also see smoke emanating from this hole, noxious fumes that appear to be rather unpleasant. Right over this hole, this mine really, one of the sections of the bridge appears to be recently damaged, with 2 support pylons completely broken, and one side of the bridge sagging and on the verge of collapsing. Crews are working with cranes to try and build some supports, but it's clear the damage is very extensive. You can now make up the remnants of several buildings smashed to bits on the ground around the mine entrance. Just ahead, you see an access to the bridge into the city. A dull, thick gray wall of stone, one that appears rather ancient, stands around the whole affair, and a portcullis and a door are open. As you approach, the guards, all quite big and a good foot taller than even Gethra, all seem to have a peculiar, shiny bronze tint to their skin. Trolls. The place is garrisoned by trolls. This is going to be strange. What do you do?
Why the hell is it trolls? Is there any precedent for this, Bleak, that I would have?
So trolls are not your typical sort of D&D live in a swamp kind of. They are a race that lives in the mountains, is very rarely come out of the mountains for any reason whatsoever. You would never have seen them in any city in the Magisterium or the Imperium or anything like that. They're very much sort of wilderness dwellers, but they are, sort of organized. They have a culture. They live in homes. They live in, they wear clothes. They have families. But they're very isolated. They're a very small group. And you only kind of meet them in certain parts of the area. Gethra, you would know them a lot more. You do know that it's true, the stories about their regenerative abilities and the fact that you have to burn them to really destroy them. Back in the day, Gethra, a long time ago, when your people were still very clannish and warring all the time, you would often get into skirmishes with trolls also up in the that would come down from the mountains to raid the border villages in Rukin. But in the past, 50 years or 60 years or so, that's really sort of quietening down. And the reason mostly is that their numbers have dwindled a lot and there's not a lot of them left anywhere. Clavia, you do remember that some months ago, one of your agents, Lucia Nero, who you had sent on a mission to the mountain Dvergs up north, reported that there was some sort of issue between the Imperium's detachment that was out there and some undead trolls that were living in this frozen cave that had apparently been infected with necrophage and brought back to life by some whatever power. And one of your agents at that time, the Centurion Quintus, had reported that they'd had to fight these trolls and sort of kill them. So there's apparently some up in the north also, although these were undead, so who knows how they got there. But that's about the extent of it. It's not a type of creature that you really have ever encountered. You just know they're another type of people that live off in the remote areas. So yeah, seeing them here wearing chainmails and auberks and helmets and axes and stuff and, stopping people at the door, not what you'd expect.
Unusual. Do I see any pattern to how they're moving? Is there any way I can relatively quickly discern what they're doing?
They're really just. You mean the guards?
Mm-hmm.
They're really just. There's a couple
Are
of them.
they aimlessly wandering at random?
No, they're There's a couple of them. You can see some on the ramparts. There's a
Mhm.
few of them at the door, the main door. That's there's people sort of coming in and going out of the city. Not like a huge amount of people, but like a trickle of people that sort of come in and out, and they're basically just at the door keeping an eye on things. You do see patrols up on the ramparts around. These seem to be all over the city. You see them in the mine, also in that area. They seem to be the main force of the city.
Is this place hostile to us? Like, are we showing up to this scum and villainy
No, it's
party?
no. Basically, it's just a bad town. It's just a bad town.
Gotcha.
They, the governments that set this prison up just couldn't be bothered to take care of it. So they let whoever wanted to come in sort of take over, and over the years, the management has changed. And in recent years, it's been this group that's led by Duchess Scoria, and they just run the place, and no one really cares because the people who are here are all, villains and bad people, and the people who fought on the side of the Necro King and their descendants, and so people don't really care. It's sort of like, you were talking earlier, you were asking me earlier if I always make all sorts of weird connections to stuff in pop culture.
Yep,
You
tell me
ever
more.
see from New York?
Absolutely. Great. Okay, so like we can
You can just walk in there. You
walk
can
in
literally
and just
walk
like
in.
go into the mine and ignore these.
The mine, you don't know, but because to go into the mine, as you can see, they have these giant elevators
Sure.
that are basically just, wooden boards with ropes on cranes that come down. So you have to go into the city, then go to where these cranes are unloading and offloading and go down, unless you want to jump down, which, let me just change the map here quickly, and I'll show you a pretty not great map that I tried to make of the city. It just didn't turn out super well, but at least it'll sort of give you an idea of what you're dealing with. So it's built with these sort of 4 bridges in a square like that, and you can come in on either end. And the map is only sort of representative. The city is much bigger and more tightly packed, and there's a lot more stuff sort of going on. But the mine is at the center there, so you can see that over here there's cranes and stuff, and the wall that's been destroyed is over here, and you can see that parts of the wall are now in the pit here, and there's smoke coming out of this pit.
That's a sexy map.
It is not loading for me. I think I have to refresh.
Well, just be rest assured that it is sexy.
I'm sure it is. Oh, there we go.
There it is, sexy. I had a lot of difficulty making it, actually, but took a while to kind of figure out how to do the bridges and stuff.
It's great.
No, thank you very much.
Looks real good. Thank you. Thank
Wait, you
much.
made this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's super rad.
That's a
Not
really
amazing.
cool
It's Inkarnate.
Hugh.
So yeah, you can literally just walk in. There's people walking in. I mean, you're here to talk to Duchess Scoria, so figuring out where Duchess Scoria would be is probably not a bad idea. But
Did we get any sense that like this sword has been discovered already, or are we did Fugue
yeah. So what Fugue said was that Scoria let it be known that it was available to the highest bidder.
Gotcha, right, and we should get it at all costs.
Yeah. You should be the highest bidder or the toughest bidder.
Mm.
It's quite a rarity to see trolls out here. Has anyone ever seen one before?
Have
I've seen them.
I don't know if I would have or not.
No, probably not, because
Yeah.
in your time, especially when you were general of the armies, you never fought this far north. You have certainly gone into Karth, which is the so maybe I can show you this. Do I have? Hold on to your underwears, chums.
Oh no.
So
That's one of the rules.
that's right. The hell is this? Okay, so this is the map of the world. You right now are in this zone here. I don't know if you can see.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, I can see
You're
the laser
here?
pointer. Yeah.
Okay, so you're right there, right?
Oh, I'm from way.
You're from way down here. in the southeast. You would certainly have gone into Khartoum, which is the desert land here. You would certainly have gone there because there's garrisons. Your people have started to kind of expand into it. So there's garrisons there. There's in fact Imperium garrisons, as you can see, sort of all over the map. They've started kind of spreading out a little bit on the eastern side. Rukin, this is where Gaethra comes from. And so you traveled from here to that. And then just in the interest of being Thera, the Magisterium is here, Vale is here. So this is where Darkath and Noir come from.
I would assume Gethra's seen at least one troll in her life. Maybe it's a rare thing, but she's definitely has stories from the Orkans of the battles.
Because you would have been trained. You would have been trained to fight them in case they ever got up, right? So
I would assume she does not really like them so much, and being around them without lopping their heads off makes her a bit uneasy.
You know, trolls are
Gethra doesn't like something. What?
Wow.
What?
Trolls are kind of like what people think Orkans are like. That makes.
I dare any of you.
Noir is dispassionate, unresponsive, like just kind of looks them over with the same coldness that he has observed everything thus far. And it's going to spur his horse a little bit and like kind of march up to one of the troll guards. Are they like at the as we're walking into the city?
Yeah, as you're arriving at the gate, there's a bunch of them at the front gate. There's maybe like half a dozen people sort of coming in and going out. And so as you approach, one of them will sort of raise his hand.
I'll just
Here for then.
Go on, Noir.
In his mind, he will hear this troll will hear, where can we spend the most money?
Did you say something, Rudd? No. Well, what? That guy looks weird. What's his thing? I don't know.
I'll say it out loud, then you'll hear Noir say exactly the same thing.
Were you talking in my head?
Yes.
He kind of leans in and takes a close look at you.
Noir will
You
lean
have a
in
condition?
also. Possibly. Does that bother you?
I don't know. Is it contagious?
No.
Oh, okay then.
Where
What was your question?
can we spend all of our money? Who can we give our money to and get something large in return?
You can give it to the Duchess. Duchess will take your money. Duchess will take everything you have.
Yeah, where is this Duchess?
You'll find her at the bank.
A fitting place for money.
Head up this way. Third smokestack. Go left. If you fall off the bridge, you've gone too far.
You'll hear in his head, thank you.
Did you say something, Rod? No, I didn't say nothing. Damn it. Get out of my head.
And Noir will turn his head around on his horse, like just a little too far. Not like Exorcist far, but just like a little bit past just enough past the shoulder where you're like, this looks a little uncanny. And he'll look at everybody and say, I think we found the mark.
I never doubted you for a minute. Well, let us go.
As you walk by, one of the trolls will eye Gethra and go, you get lonely later, you know where to find me.
She snarls at him, but holds her tongue because she knows if she lets it go, she might not stop.
I don't think she likes you very much. I don't think she likes me at all, in fact. You will walk into the city, and the best way to sort of imagine this city is, in some ways, sort of a grimier, dirtier Victorian London, where everything is just covered in soot and grime. People look poor, and it's been snowing. There's already like a little bit of snow sort of covering everything. People look really, poor, wearing rags. They look really kind of pale, dead-eyed, just sort of walking around, going to their work. You'll see at some point like something that looks like a fresh body, and it's lying on the ground. It's just someone who's just been shanked for their money or something, and you'll see it slowly disappear under a set of stairs, and you'll see a pair of eyes under the set of stairs staring at you as they pull the body underneath it, and it disappears. You see its feet sort of go out. There are children running in the street dressed in rags trying to sell you all sorts of things. Someone's selling oysters. Just a depressing, dark, dirty, grimy place. The smoke from the smokestack is just sort of doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of pops out, and then it just sort of kind of sits on the city. And you can hear, as you're traveling further along the bridge and you come near where the mine is, you can hear a lot of screaming. You can see that not only has there been damage done to the bridge, the part of the bridge that's kind of collapsed and some of the houses have fallen out near where the mine is, but the mine itself looks like something happened, because it looks cracked and sort of the hole looks bigger than it used to be. You can see a lot of the scaffolding has fallen down. You can see scorch marks as if like some fire or something has erupted from this thing. People are really busy sort of trying to pull things and people out of there, and there's a general kind of hubbub going on around this. There are guards everywhere. It seems like there was some sort of catastrophe or something that happened recently down in that hole. And people are just sort of trying to deal with it, and no one really kind of pays attention to you too much. And eventually you'll arrive by following the very complex directions that the troll gave you. You'll arrive at this big building that's made of like all this red brick, and it's sandwiched in really tight between two other really big buildings, and it's just like one floor, and it looks like over time people have built walls over the walls. It sticks out like a few feet further than the other buildings around it, as they've just added masonry to it and just sort of tried to fortify it that way. And there's 4 guards right in front. There's a simple door, 4 guards right in front of it. Pretty much looks like what you would expect a bank to look like in this place.
Did we get any money from Few? Did she like give us something to buy this, or are we just on our own?
She gave you apples.
Fuck. Well, so we just all sort of like stop on our horses outside of this squat building.
Yeah, as we're walking around and looking at everything, I just kind of like look at the drumdriness of it, and just really disgusted by everything. Like everything is truly beneath me, and I kind of like turn to the party and I say, I wanted our friend here to be the face of the party, because I thought, well, it would be hilarious, but my God, he fits in so well. What the hell is this? Does nobody feel the same way? No? I'll be the one to say what we're all thinking. It's okay. I just turn between Clavia and Gaithra.
Gaithra's basically just decided that she doesn't speak to you at this point.
He's wondering.
She's just...
Yeah.
Nora's gonna awkwardly translate because he'll pick up on this. Like,
no.
Yeah. I'll notice that. I'll be like, no, I think as the face of the party, you should definitely try it and just practice it. Go ahead.
I am not a child to be spoken to like this, Darkath. But if you insist.
Darkath just like hanging forward, waiting for something. Nothing comes out. He's like, okay, cool. All right, well, we have no money. Should we just go in and say hello then and see if there's an auction or something like that, at least to attend, and
You have apples.
maybe we can gauge the value of the apples. I mean, no one's really investigated them yet. Did I get any senses from it? Being a sorcerer, did I detect any like just energy or magic?
There's definitely magic about them.
Okay. Mm,
You kind of get a sense that there's probably something to them that whatever you need, they will provide.
has Fugue been generally vague with her gifts like this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to understand Fugue is like trying to understand the color purple.
How do magnets work?
Fucking magnets.
Do magnets work though, or are we just being deceived? That's my contention.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna,
Are the guards
Talk
in
about
front of
this in
the?
character.
Yeah,
you
there's
guys.
4 guards standing.
Are
in
they
front.
trolls as well?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Trolls
Yeah.
everywhere.
You just see like Gethra's scowl is just like deepening by the moment, and she's just kind of hanging to the back and letting whatever is going on with Noir and Darkath deal with speaking to these trolls and moving forward.
Oh, there. You got
Who's-
business?
Who are they talking to?
You guys?
Fuck. Okay.
go ahead, Noir.
We seek an audience with the Duchess.
Speak up, man.
He hears in
Right.
his head, we seek an audience with the Duchess.
Clegg, did you say something? No, I didn't say anything. He looks at
Noir
you.
will just put his head in his hand for a moment, and there's like a shadow comes over his face, and he will look back at and kind of eyes to every one of you in the party and go, I can't wait for her vision to come true because they need some improvement.
So what's it gonna be?
We are just simply here to speak with the Duchess. We've heard she's selling some products. That's simply it.
Right.
Where can we put the horses here?
You didn't leave him right there.
I get off my horse first and start tying it up. I don't even look at the rest of the party. I just start doing it.
You got names, or I'm just gonna go check to see if she feels like talking to you is all.
Oh, sure.
Oh, table talk. Do we have like assumed names that we use? Do I
Yeah.
have one of those?
I don't know. Do you?
Oh God, I would think I would.
Like your supervillain name?
No, like my not my name.
You're
Just
Clark
some
Kent.
kind of
Dark Blade.
dark blade.
Ooh,
That
can I
makes
be
me good.
resting bitch face?
Oh my God, yes.
Captain
this
resting bitch face to you.
RB last initial F.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't need
I just
don't need fake names. It's not like people are
Okay.
gonna go on social media and call you out.
Well, I mean, I wasn't sure because of who I am if I would automatically have something like that already.
No, again, it's the question of
But I am far away
the
from
character
home,
is well
so-
known in the Imperium, but outside the Imperium, no one really.
Okay, dope.
So
Perfect.
you'd be fine. You wouldn't feel like you need to, call yourself.
Okay.
Whatever,
Okay.
or whatever.
The Clavia. Oh my
The
God.
Clavia. The Clavia. That's right. With 2 A's.
Chat.
we're just simply envoys for a small petty king in one of the towns in the Imperium who just seeks to spend a pretty penny.
A pretty penny.
All right, stay there. He goes inside. The other guys just kind of, the other trolls just stare at y'all. You're a pretty strange bunch. Not gonna lie.
I'm sorry, I have to be honest. I've never actually met a troll where I'm from, so I can kind of say that maybe I understand what you're saying. Can you tell me a little bit about yourselves? What's your name while we're waiting?
My name is I'll put my foot in your ass. That's my name.
That's a strange translation, my friend. Tell me more about the origin of it.
Gethra's
Listen here,
eyes
you-
cannot roll any further back into her head at this
Oh my
point.
god.
Listen, you pipsqueak. The door opens.
Oh, time's up. my
Duchess
friend.
will see you.
Time's up. It's been a pleasure. Come on, my friends.
I'll be here waiting when you come out.
I'm gonna look at the troll. I'm gonna eye contact with him and say, "No, you won't," and walk in.
I'm so sorry for her behavior. I believe you're capable of doing your job and staying out here.
Get inside now.
When you
Noir's gonna
walk-
wait for Gethra to go in first, and then sort of a little bit like this. And then sort of walk up to the troll on the way in and just reach out and put my hand on his arm if he'll let me, lean in conspiratorially. Does he let me do this?
He does.
Cool. And I'm gonna look at him and say thank you, and he hears it both out loud and in his head. I'm just gonna scratch him just a little bit with my fingernail, just
What? Get out of here.
a little bit.
Ayo.
He's definitely waiting for you when you come out.
Just draw a little bit of blood. And move in.
So weird. You walk inside this repurposed bank, and there's a flurry of activity. There's a bunch of guards in here, as you can see on the map. There's a bunch of guards in here, but there's also a bunch of people just working. There's people coming in and out from back doors, everywhere bringing messages. At the central table, in the middle of all of it, is a Diavok female, and I will give you who looks. Man, I should have downloaded these at higher resolution. Who looks sort of like this. So the Diavok, for those of you who would know about the Diavok, are people that come from the far eastern end of the desert on an island called Blight Rock. And they're pretty oppressed people. They're generally kept mostly as slaves. There's a few of them that still live on the island of Black Rock, but Black Rock is basically a giant volcano, and so they live in the shadow of this volcano where it's just ash and just a bad place to be. And in the desert, they're often because they're very sturdy and they're very resilient to heat. They're often captured and sold and traded as slaves, especially by a group called the Red Priests, who deal in this sort of thing out there. And they have this appearance. They have red skin. They often have horns. They have hooves for legs. And there are very few of them. They don't go anywhere else. They've never been seen outside of the desert. But in those areas, people know them. You would all have known, enough about the world to have known that they're there. It's very strange to find one all the way out here. And she seems very aggrieved as people are bringing her message and she's giving orders. And there seems to be some major level of consternation sort of going on. I don't care what I got to do. Tell them to build more cranes. We need to get that stuff out of there. If there's another explosion, we're going to lose everything. That's sort of going on. The bridge is going to fall. We got to, put that back up. Make sure you move everything that's out of the houses, destroy the houses to, take some of the weight off so she's going on left, right side. There's people coming in, going and sort of giving orders as you come in. And what do you want?
I'm looking around. My eyes just darting everywhere. And I look back to my party a little bit to see. I imagine Gethra's not looking around very much. I imagine Noir is doing something creepy.
No, Gethra's very alert. Almost to a paranoid point. at sometimes. Like
Mhm.
she's definitely scanning the room, very militant about the way that she enters a room.
Behind the seat where Duchess Scoria is sitting, there's this huge safe door that's kind of open, this vault door that's open. You can see there's people in there. There's like mounds of ore and gold and all sorts of objects, like Fort Knox, basically, in the back there.
Okay. So it's like, it's visible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, as you're kind of like, and you are.
We're simply just here to just if you got something to sell, we're here to buy it. It's really all it is.
Okay, look, I really don't have a lot of time.
The sword. Just we want to buy the sword.
Oh, the sword. You want the sword?
Yes, the sword.
Oh well, let us discuss. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Who do you represent exactly?
Have I ever discussed Fugue openly before? Is she someone
Yeah.
who is stealth?
No,
is
not
she in
really.
the
Yeah, you
shadows?
would have really discussed her too much before. No.
No. Okay.
I'll cut in at this point. Clavia will step forward and say, "Our patron wishes to remain anonymous.
Okay.
I can speak on their behalf, however."
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Does your patron like it when you come back empty-handed?
No.
Okay. Then you've got a problem.
What?
I don't have the sword. It's gone. It's gone.
It's gone, or do you just have some very strict rules, Duchess?
No, it's gone. One of the buildings, unfortunately, that was destroyed in the eruption yesterday was the warehouse. And the warehouse got literally split in half as the bridge collapsed and half the warehouse fell. It wasn't very long before it was looted by a bunch of ungrateful. I mean, I do everything for these people. I give them jobs.
Looted by
I give them
who?
I'm talking, sir. I give them jobs. I give them places to stay. I put food in their mouths. And how do they reward me? They rob me blind. They rob me blind. First chance they get to tell you that I'm not happy right now would be to grossly undervalue my feelings.
Gethrod's gonna. Oh,
Yo, no, go for it.
yeah, Gethrod's gonna step forward.
Yo, big.
She has no response to this, and says, "Has anyone left the city since this happened?"
Yeah, tons of people. Some of them were even alive when they did.
The eruption, what was it?
Well, if I knew that, I don't know. The ground trembled, and all of a sudden, fire came out of the hole.
Fire.
Now, as far as I know, this is not a dormant volcano, and there is no pit of lava or anything. And right now, my mine is flooded with molten rock. Now, miners, they like to bitch. But let me tell you, when their mines are flooded with molten rock, they bitch even more. And when they bitch, they get on my nerves. And right now, I have to deal with that. So really, your sword, I can't. You're going to have to deal with that yourself.
Fair enough. Were any of your men here today at the scene when it occurred?
No, they were here guarding the bank.
Are any of your other employees present that are still in the city?
There
Surely you've
were-
questioned people.
I don't have the time.
Are
Well,
you useful at all?
Apparently not.
Perhaps we could be useful for you.
I don't know. You're starting to step on the one nerve I have left.
Well, the feeling is mutual.
Great, then we understand each other.
Arcath steps in and kind of like doesn't put a hand on Gaitha, but just kind of like stands behind her, knows that she can feel him behind her, and just like kind of just steps forward.
I think if you touch her, you're pulling back a stump, pal.
Yeah,
The feeling I'm getting.
yeah. Now my interest. Let's start off on a better foot, my friend. I apologize for the amount of stress you must be feeling. My friends here don't really understand the weight of representing a large number of people, their whims, their desires, and every nagging thought they had, an ungrateful attitude that they turned towards you. I'm sure you understand that more than anyone else, and maybe taken a little for granted by my allies here.
Jeffra scoffs at this from behind you. Go on.
We all tell ourselves tales, as you can see,
Mhm.
Duchess. Now,
More wine. What do I pay you for?
stressful. It's hard to find good help these days. But lucky for
Awesome.
you, this is a good day.
You do everything for them. That's how
Everything.
they reward you.
Your entire life, every hour is devoted to them, and here they are, just milking you past expiration.
Finally, someone who understands.
Heavy is the head. Heavy is the head, my friend. Now,
Indeed.
this sword, you seem to have a little bit of knowledge of someone who could have actually done this. Is that true? Do you have an inkling, an idea? Because even if the sword's gone, I'm sure you want some justice. Maybe make a symbol or a sign out of someone who
Right now,
crossed you.
I settled for a little piece, but that doesn't seem to be in the cards. There's only one thing that comes to mind, and it's that there was one local group that was very, very interested in it. And since yesterday, they haven't asked about it once. I mean, they were at my door every couple hours before, trying to get I wouldn't sell to them on principle. Person. But they haven't asked about it since then, and I can't imagine that that's because they've given up. So perhaps they would be the first people to ask. And if you go and ask them, and let's say you kill them, that would also help me out greatly. So I'd like you get what you want. We could be friends. And that would be like one less headache for me.
See, I would like that very much. So now we know what each other wants. So if I understand, you care more about the power you hold in the city and being able to control that more than just some sword, I guess. If we can balance the equation, then the sword would mean nothing to you.
Absolutely nothing. Its only value is the value other people ascribe to it, as with most things. And I'm but a simple merchant, really. I want to make people happy. I want to give people what they want.
That's why you're in this job. That's exactly why you've got it. He's holding back a snark. Like he's trying really hard. I think his party can see it, that he's just really, really embarrassed. Like just trying to make fun of this Duchess a lot.
We have an understanding then. You will get the fuck out of my bank and leave me alone to deal with, like, the apocalypse. And I'll never have to hear from you again.
Oh, we'll let you know when the job is done so you don't have to worry about it. But other than that, we'll fuck right off as you wish. Just
Perfect.
we'll need information as we're new here. So could you just let your employees know that if 4 fucking weirdos come by, that they can probably answer our questions?
I'll spread the word.
I knew you were a reasonable person. Just need, and I turn around, a reasonable person to speak to. And I kind of walk away past Guthrum.
Would you like to know where you should go, or are you going to divine that?
I kind of stop and I look up into the air, just fucking embarrassed and just. I thought you understood me. I thought we could be cool, but okay, whatever.
You hear Noir laugh for the first time, and it's like all the breath that he's been holding since the last time that he spoke is just.
I flinch. I'm just actually disgusted for a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I've heard things die less creepily than that.
Thank you.
Try the baths.
Okay. Try the bats. We'll go see them.
The baths, yes.
Do they have a name? Are they a group of any kind?
No, the baths, the place where they have baths, or they used to have
the
baths.
people.
Oh, yes, the Red Priests.
Perfect. Now, actually, one more question. Are they capable people or are they stupid people?
Oh, they should pose no threat at all to killers such as yourselves. They're priests. They wear robes.
So they might have just told someone something they shouldn't know. All right. Well, that gives us a good start. We'll go to the baths and talk to some priests and maybe some of your other employees around, maybe near their warehouse.
You can ask anyone. They'll direct you to the baths. Everyone knows where they are. Everyone avoids it, but everyone knows where they are.
Perfect. I'm sure a lot of people to talk to will figure that out.
Yeah. I'm sure the four of you put your heads together, one good idea will pop out.
You'd be surprised how long that takes.
All right. Now, please, if you wouldn't mind, fuck off.
Yes, fucking off, as you wish.
And as they fuck off, we will also all fuck off. Sorry for my language. We will take a quick break.
Fuck off.
We're gonna fucking fuck off.
Sorry for my language.
Fuck
We'll
off.
take a quick break.
Fuck off.
Nice vibrato.
Back in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out with us. And this crew of misfits. We'll be back in like 5. Sub gangsters, we're back. We have peed, and we are ready to roll. First, I would like to thank Vamp Wickman, the man, the myth, the legend, Vamp Wickman, for cheering some bits and giving every one of you an advantage. Please go ahead and knock yourselves out each inspiration. Thank you, Vamp. Thank you very much. I considered changing it so that when people gave bits, it would give a bane to your enemies rather than help you because you're villains. But then I thought, well, that's boring. So thank you very much, Vamp. Your generosity is, as always, incredible. Before the break, they bickered, and then they found out that the sword they're looking for, that Fugue wants, was taken in some looting that happened when there was an eruption, which if you've been watching the saga, you know that it's what happened the last 2 games when the living flame exploded in the underground and blew up the black obelisk of death that was keeping all these souls in, which have now all escaped, but they're not here right now, which is a good thing. But that eruption traveled all the way out here and came out the mine and caused some destruction to the city. And in that destruction, the warehouse goods were being stored, was partially destroyed. Some people left with them, and the Duchess Scoria has decided that she's willing to let the sword go for free as long as these guys go in and get it back. And she has indicated that they might be with a bunch of red priests in a bathhouse. You know, you're in one of my games when you can't see their faces, but oh yeah, there we are. We're all on now. Okay. All right, to the bathhouse you go. So as you leave the bank and the Duchess Scoria behind, you walk out the bank and one of the guards is kind of scratching his arm. He's showing it at somebody else, and one of the other guards is looking at it. He's like, "Does that look infected to you?" And he's like, what, "How did you do that? Were you shaving your body again? What's up with what's going on?" And so, while they're sort of looking at that, you manage to, they're trolls. They're hirsute. What do you want? You manage to sort of slip on by without causing any further aggravation to the poor working trolls of Dawnfall. They're just earning a paycheck, man. You guys are fucking messing with them. You ask around for directions to the bathhouse, and after looking at you very weirdly, people usually give you directions. You find your way to this structure, crosstown. There's a small sort of rounded dome, and you can see huge pumps that go out the back of it and down into the river below. The bathhouse seems to have known better days. The paint outside is all sort of flaking, and there's soot and grit all around the entire place. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people in this area. In fact, I would say, as you're all powerful villains attuned to villainy, you kind of feel like there's like a weird aura around here. Like there's something kind of off about this entire place. And it's clear to people who believe it too, because the buildings immediately around the bathhouse are empty. And you would think that in a city that's this kind of tightly packed, that, you know, real estate would be at a premium, but it's kind of empty. So something's kind of feeling weird. But there's the building, there's a door, there's no guard or anything in front of it. What do you do?
So we know that the specific purpose for this bathhouse is for the members of this order.
Yeah, the Red Priests.
The Red Priests.
Yeah. This is where they lair.
Okay. And
like
I imagine I would know their reputation as well.
Yeah, I've, as someone who has, you know, worked in several of the cities in Khartoum, they have a city of their own that exists sort of between Khartoum and Blight Rock, a fortification really they have there, and they are basically a religious order of some sort. No one's really clear on exactly what they do, but they run they're big slavers. They grab people left, right, and center and just resell them on the market. And it's kind of like, you know, slavery is bad, and they're the bad guys in slavery.
Hmm.
They are rumored to be some sort of mystical kind of group, but you yourself don't really know exactly what that's all about.
Do they have a specific standing with the Imperium?
The Imperium has outlawed slavery. The Imperium does not allow slavery. It's one of the things that's creating conflict right now with the Imperium's move into Khartoum is that is just that, because wherever the Imperium goes, they outlaw slavery. And
Right.
It's a big part of the culture in Khartoum, so there's kind of a shock when they move into a new city there. But definitely it's on the to-do list for the Imperium for Khartoum is get rid of Al Gahim and the Red Priests.
Well, for now, the Imperium's to-do list is not mine.
No.
but I imagine I have a natural dislike for this organization.
Well, the Imperium is really an enlightened society that prizes, scientific knowledge and modern civilization and advances in science. And so, as a general rule, anything that's like
Outdated.
oh yeah, off the rails like that. In fact, none of the cultures you cover. The only place in the world where there is still slavery is in Carthage. And even then, it's not institutionalized. It's just raiders and stuff like that get involved with it.
So does anybody here prefer stealthy tactics, or are we all just as blunt as we look?
I don't know if Gethra is a stealthing character.
Well, you're not wearing any armor.
Flavia is not a stealthing character. She's got plate armor on.
Flavia's like heavy metal.
Yeah, definitely heavy metal.
So
then we should just walk in for your benefit, I guess.
We are here for a job.
We
All
are
right, well.
also expected.
Should we knock?
I will simply approach the doors.
No time like the present.
as you approach the doors, the door opens.
Oh, good.
And a person sticks their head out. They are wearing a red robe with a red hood and a mask underneath it and a candle. And they open the door and like, how may I help you?
We need to speak to someone about the eruption.
Oh, about the eruption.
Yes.
I'm not sure that this concerns us. Would you like to come in?
Yes.
Please do. And he backs up and he opens the door. And you find yourselves in a short corridor. And you can see, let me pop you in here. In a short corridor, a couple of doors on either side. You can hear water dripping. Sort of all around this place. It's clear that, it's like in a bathhouse, there's like everywhere, there's like conduits of water and so on and so forth. Can you all give me an observation or perception? Well, I don't remember. What is it? Hold on.
Perception.
Yeah,
I don't have
perception.
advantage on this? Oh, yeah, because I got a cloak covered in eyes. That's what. Psh.
22.
Oh. Damn,
What is
that's
that?
a 22 as well.
I'm 12 total.
All right, so Clavia, you can't hear anything over the sound of your metal clanking on your metal. The rest of you, so it's pretty clear.
14.
Sorry, 14, yeah. So you're also sort of not picking up anything. But the other two, so there's a couple other people as you sort of walk into this hallway. You can hear, like I said, water and so on and so forth. The door that's ahead of you here is closed, but the two of you that rolled pretty high, you hear on the other side of it, there's definitely like a lot of sort of wet, watery sounds and stuff like that. You hear like a low chanting that's sort of going on. And once in a while, you'll hear like a scream or like a sort of, moaning that's kind of cut off really, really quickly. And there's definitely like weird, unsettling noises coming from the other side of that door. You were saying something about the eruption.
Yes.
The eruption was quite uncanny, and We're just from traveling from out of town, simply trying to categorize unnatural and weird events. And more often than not, the religious folks or those who divine other perspectives lead us to such enlightening perspectives and allow us to seek further truths. And maybe your company is such a group that could help us understand.
Religious, yes. Tell me something. Have you been saved?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I say out of character.
I mean, in a manner of speaking, but I guess that's not the same as your type of saviordom. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, since you asked, would you like to perhaps cleanse your body first?
Not without dinner first, my friend.
Oh, dinner. Well, we can arrange that. Would you like some refreshments?
I'm not drinking any juice, but I think we're all a little hungry.
Meat, then. Very
No,
well.
thank you. I think we will pass. However, we do wish to ask some questions and then get out of your hair. So, enough with the pleasantries. Let's get to the point, shall we?
Certainly. This priest sort of comes over to Clavia and looks at you, and when he gets close, it's very weird, but like under his mask, it's like his face is red and kind of glinty.
Like he's drunk or
No, like
just got out of the hot bath or...
he doesn't have skin on his face.
Oh.
Noir peers in, cocks his head a little bit.
You were saying something about questions.
I
Okay,
look to the
Clavia.
rest of the group and we did not discuss beforehand whether or not we were going to talk about the sword to these people. And I just realized that.
We just wanted to know more about the eruption, and we've got a few, how do you say it? I guess theories we might try to associate it with, and we might tell you more if it seems in line with what we're thinking. But what have you observed from it? Is something I'm sure it's not gone unnoticed for you guys.
Well, I can't say that it was very bothersome to us here. They happened on the other side of the city, and I guess the people who work in the mine were perhaps a bit more affected by it, but here in our sanctum, peace reigns. We are fine. We barely... Would you like some of that meat now? Are you hungry?
Meat? What kind of meat?
Oh, we have all kinds.
Did it
You're very...
come from your face?
No, the priest comes over and sort of looks close up into your face, Nora. You're very strange. Have you made friends with death?
I don't know if I would call death a friend, but certainly a business partner, perhaps.
Very, very interesting. I don't think we've had one like you here before. Would you Would you care to come meet our sister?
Five minutes in, and he wants you to meet his sister, Noir.
The
Sorry,
Red
Kath,
Sister
you
is...
hear in your head, this is how you do. I'm just kidding.
The Red Sister is always so eager to meet new people.
Can I get a read on this? Like, what is like Noir is pumping with weird energy and darkness, and that maybe resonates with whatever his energy is going on in here. What is that relationship like?
I don't know. Either you feel right at home here, or it's really clashing. But there's definitely some badness going on.
Is whatever power that's giving them their creepy vibe, like, is that intriguing? Have I encountered it before?
It's intriguing, sure. It is. You've never quite encountered anything like it before. So if you were like not Noir, it would be off-putting, but you're Noir, so it's intriguing.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just gonna lean in and not even looking at the rest of the party, just go, show me the Red Sister. Maybe she can answer our questions.
With pleasure. She'll want to meet you all. And the priest moves towards the door and stops again. And
I just want to say, out of character, that I am ready to kill these guys at any given second. The second something off happens, I'm gonna start murdering people.
it's a bathhouse. What could go wrong?
Easy.
I mean, have you seen Eastern Promises?
That's a cut.
Yeah.
It's a deep cut. I like it.
That's a deep cut.
From Tucky.
Eastern Tucky.
Eastern
So,
Tucky.
Noir, do you follow this priest? And as you can see that as you're sort of moving, a couple of the other priests have sort of come on there watching very intently, sort of what's going on. Do you go with the priest, Noir?
Yeah, I'm probably like, will I have walked past Clavia at some point?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna like, as I do that, like very creepily put my hand briefly on like your shoulder, and you'll hear in your head, this is going to be fun. And you hear in your head the inhale too,
I love it.
And I'm gonna give you Vigilant Blessing, which gives you advantage on your next initiative roll.
Ooh.
As
Perfect.
the priest opens the door, this smell of charnel house, of blood, rancid meat, all things vile and wet and warm and disgusting sort of wafts over you. And as you take a look inside the bathhouse, the door opens, the chanting becomes louder, the moans and groans and feelings of pain become louder. And as you step in through the door, you see this giant, sort of kind of like a statue, but it's clearly made out of flesh and viscera, and it's glinting and wet and red and pulsing, almost as if it's breathing, and there are tendrils of meaty red substance that are splayed out and go to the different corners of the room, and a bunch of red priests are around this whole mess, chanting and intoning, and it's kind of done in that throat singing kind of style that really kind of, kind of just reverberating through the hall. And you can see that there are three people looking very much like random civilians who have been placed around this effigy of horror, their hands bound, and they're sort of swaying and sort of moaning, and once in a while one of the priests will whip one of them, and the blood drips down, and the entire squishiness of the bottom of this pool, this red gelatinous sort of mess, as the priests move through it, you can hear just smell this. You have smelled fields of battle where hundreds lay slain, bacon in the sun, rotting away, and it's never been like this. It's just this concentrated disgusto that sort of wafts over you. And the priest says, "The Red Sister awaits."
What is required?
No, simply that you approach and commune. Come, I'll find you a spot.
Darkath is coughing up a storm and actually puking up some bile at the stairway. Like he is not having a good time. He is choking. You can hear him unmasked a little bit too, just saying heinous shit about how these people are all disgusting. This is exactly just the type of people who need to be swept away under a bloody claw. And he's just not having a good time.
So the priest will walk in and sort of gesture for you to follow.
Oh, Noir is following. Absolutely. Noir is like unendingly curious about who this is, what this power is. In Noir's like gray, lifeless eyes, this is another perversion of life. This is another weird like energy that isn't quite life or death, and it's like fucking fascinating.
Yeah, and you can imagine the things Noir saw. When Noir died, he stayed caught in between life and death because of the staff for weeks before Fugue came to him and brought him back. So you can imagine the things that he saw in there and that broke his mind. And this is in that realm. This is exactly the kind of thing that is not meant for this world, but sometimes kind of crawls in like you, really. What are the rest of you doing?
I am lingering in the open doorway to where this fetid pool is, this disgusting display.
You can feel the other three red priests are kind of starting to crowd you from behind.
I'm walking in.
I look sharply at them. Mind your distance, if
Please,
you please.
join us.
I come up. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't like that other members of the party are on the other side of all this bullshit. So I am stalling.
Darkath?
Yeah, I step up. And I kind of look at Clavia as I'm like coughing and stuff. And I'm just trying to look at her to get an idea. Like, are you trying to go inside or do you want to wait outside? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to. You can pretty easily tell that I don't want to go in there. Really, I will, but I don't want to.
Okay. So Darkath is gonna just start coughing and she. Okay. I'll try to get in, and he like makes this big deal. He tries to step in, and he's like, "Oh, no, I can't. No, can we just keep the door open, guys? I'll just watch from here, okay? Like, it's fine. We'll stay here." What do they do?
The priest is like, will you step forward?
To me?
Him-
No, to Noir, sorry.
Oh,
So like there's steps going down into this pool of weird undulating fleshy bounce house.
Fleshy bounces.
Amazing.
Oh man. Oh.
I would say, just added, like, Gethra is walked in, but she's very stony faced, like doing her best for the smell to not affect her or show any effect. She's smelt many battlefields in her life.
You can feel free to move your tokens, by the way, guys.
Okay. Even as like wildly curious as Noir is, like he still is focused. And so Gethra, as you like step in, you'll hear in your head, find the sword, I will keep them busy.
Gethra's gonna start looking around the room, seeing if there's anything out of place, any other doors leading anywhere.
There's no other doors. You can tell there's probably some other doors in the back, but now it's all covered in this sort of fleshy viscera that's kind of hanging from the walls and has kind of, over time become crusted over all these exits, and everything kind of seems really sealed off. In fact, it really feels like no fresh air comes in here, like
Smells like it too.
Yeah. Like you're starting to have some doubts about the sword thing. Like,
Okay.
These guys just don't seem like the kind of guys who really care about. But
I think I would have mentioned to the party as we're coming, based on the Duchess's comments, that I don't think these guys would have the sword. I think that they're more likely to have information that they might have given to someone to have taken this, and they might have just been used in some way. I'll tell everyone that's like my going theory based on what the information is so far.
The ones behind you are really starting to cramp your style as they're moving in kind of in unison and starting to try to push you in there. By the way, they all have like a mace and a dagger attached to their belts, by the way, just so you know.
Just casually mentioning that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not a relevant detail at all.
No.
Okay.
I would like to intimidate them to back off.
All right, go for it.
Okay. Roll some dice.
Wow.
That is a total of 18.
So what do you do to intimidate them?
I notice that they keep getting close, and I say, if you would like for things to stay friendly as they are, I suggest you give us space. We are watching from a polite distance, and I'm not moving. So back off, if you please.
So they're wearing masks, which makes it hard to read, but they take a step back. They don't run away or anything, but they do take a step back, kind of taken aback by your tone. And they, you look like you mean it, so they take a step back.
I give them like the look down at the feet, look up at the mask thing, like, and resume my stance at the door.
All right. So the one here is kind of halfway down the steps and is extending a hand to you, Noir.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna like maybe stop right before stepping on whatever this pulsing like surface is. Is it all like? It looks? I mean, it looks connected on the map, but does everything that is disgusting about this place seem like it's all connected somehow?
Yeah.
Cool. So you see Noir like take his staff and then kind of put his weight on it down to the bottom step.
I'm gonna push past the guards, like holding my stomach, and sit down on the steps near the front entrance. And I want to see if they will look at me as they do that.
You mean you go back?
Yeah, I go back. Actually, let me just do that because I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to push to over here.
Okay.
Are they looking at me as this happens?
Yeah, they turn around, they see you go. One of them will kind of like start walking towards here, and the other one will kind of spread there. And
okay.
Are you unwell, sir?
Yeah, this is.
Red Sister can be a little much to take in the first time. Would you like something to drink to settle your stomach?
No, I don't think that'll work. Can we just leave the door open? I just want some air, but I also want to see what's going on.
Unfortunately, we can't, not during the ceremony, but certainly soon after.
Okay, well, I'll just sit right here then. I'll just sit here. It's just a very zealous smell. You know, I just not as fervorous as you.
Anybody else want to do anything, or are you just going to watch and see what happens?
Can I?
Never.
Gethra's,
Go ahead.
oh, sorry.
We're like,
Never.
Gethra is just waiting and watching everything that's transpiring. Her hands are just kind of itching at her sides.
Anybody else before I continue on?
I guess I'll tell you what I'm preparing. I'm looking for them to not look at me anymore.
Mhm.
And as soon as I notice that there's no attention on me, I want to open the door, pop invisibility, and gust the door shut as I walk forward. If there's at a point where, or just like,
yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I'll signal you when that happens.
cool.
Clavia, anything before I continue on?
I don't think I've worked with Noir before, right? My character
Not
hasn't.
directly. No, you were both involved in the events in Vale, but you didn't work with him. You didn't meet him there.
So I don't have any like special kind of way to signal him or telepathically like link up with him because he's not. He has to actively be doing that for me to be able to respond.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to prepare a thunderous smite for if I get attacked.
Okay. So, Noir, as you're brought there, the priest will go there, and the chanting in the room is kind of reaching somewhat of a crescendo, and at a moment when the singing is kind of getting to this peak of sound that they're doing, this priest will come up next to this person and coming up behind them with a knife will cut their throat, and as the blood starts to pour out, you will see that the thing in the middle starts to pump sort of faster, almost like it's drinking. As the blood drains into the bottom of the pool, this thing is just kind of sort of like that. And then the priest on the other side is about to do the same thing as they're approaching, and these people seem to be drugged or something as they're just kind of swaying like this with their eyes closed. And when the priest is like, yes, the Red Sister welcomes all who feed her. And then the one that's next to you, Noir, is like, would you like to partake?
Noir is like pretending to sway like the other people were swaying, and with this creepy like curiosity on his face, like watching them do this. And then he's gonna look at the priest, and then he's gonna take his staff and like kind of slip it off of the step and drag it through the flesh in the bottom and expend a charge and try to necrophage this motherfucking flesh.
All right. Well, so you do that. You guys, you see him take his snake-headed staff and just sort of scrape it at the bottom. And as he does, you feel, or you don't feel, but you see the staff itself kind of grow, surrounded by these like mottled black and gray aura, and that aura just shoots down at the bottom of the staff and hits down into this pile of goo that's in the middle of this thing, and you can see it sort of spread out right away. And you see the priest kind of step back from it. He's like, what is this? And you can see this mottled black gray, and you've all seen the necrophage before. And as it's spreading out into the room, it starts to climb into this mountain of flesh in the front, and it's starting to spread around. And the priest's like, heretic! And one of them draws his mace and goes to strike you, Noir. Let's do some initiative.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I'm initiating.
Clavia, you have advantage on your initiative roll.
I do. Okay, first one was a 16, second one 18 plus 1, 19. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you do descending order?
So what I would like you to do is if you left click on your token, it'll open up a little window where you can write your initiative so I can keep track of it. We will use the same initiative throughout the entire combat. We're not going to re-roll it.
Oh, am I just gonna type the number on the label?
Yeah, please.
I rolled a nat 1. Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
I rolled a 3, buddy.
Oh my God, these guys are going to last at 3, and you guys are like 1, 3.
So, question.
Yes.
How do you handle when somebody prepares something? Do you allow them to do like surprise round? Like the second I saw any kind of sign, I immediately am turning on these guys.
Yeah. So you said you were preparing
Thunderous Smite.
So that's fine. You'll get to do that.
Okay.
And Fliz, as soon as this starts, they're not going to look at you. So if you want to do your thing, you can do it.
I won't if there's a weapon being drawn. There's no need.
Okay.
So they have to make strength saving throws.
Yeah. Hold on, Manny. Just give me 1 second. I just want to tell you guys a couple of things.
Sure.
One, just a couple of rules. One, I don't do movement points. You can move wherever you want in the scene. Perfectly fine. Go wherever you want and do your action. 2, flanking attacks. You only get a bonus on your first attack of a flanking attack, not on all of them. And we do initiative the once. That's it. Okay. All right. So exactly that. So the necrophage is spreading. You see this one draw his mace and go to hit Noir with it. You were preparing with your Thunderous Smite. Tell me what I need to know about it.
So essentially, I just have to hit one of them. So it says, the first time you hit with a melee weapon attack during the spell's duration, your weapon rings with thunder that is audible 300 feet from you, and the attack deals an extra 2d6 thunder damage to the target.
Okay.
If the target's a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away from me and knocked prone.
Okay.
So as a bonus action, I'm casting that on the spear and immediately.
All right. So I'll give you one hit with it.
Okay.
As a surprise, and then we'll go into the round.
Okay.
So
I'm going to knock the one closest to me. I'm kind of hoping to like shove him through the wall with the Thunderous Smite if I hit.
Roger. Y'all remember you have one inspiration from the Vamp Whitman.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
You said you're letting me have the hit on this one? I don't have to roll?
No, I'm saying I'm letting you do an action.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll this in D&D Beyond.
It's up to you.
Except it's not rolling. Just kidding. I'm just gonna.
There's also a roller
dice.
in Owlbear, but I don't trust it.
There is. I don't trust it either. Oh, it went through. Yikes, that sucks. 14 to hit. Does it hit?
Yeah. So normally it's 15, but since they are surprised, he doesn't get his deck, so it hits.
Okay. So let's see. I'm using both hands. So I don't have my shield on my arm all the time. That would be silly.
Cool.
So I do the 1d8 plus 7, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And then the thunder damage or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Something's up with D&D Beyond. Oh, okay, so 11 damage from Serpent Sting. And then Thunderous Smite is... Why are you doing this to me? It's 2d6. I'm just going to roll that because I don't feel like waiting for D&D Beyond. That is an additional 5 damage if they fail the strength saving throw.
Which he did.
Okay, so another 5 thunder damage on
All
top
right,
of
now
that.
he's blown back 10 feet, you said?
Yes.
All right, so describe that for us as you hit him and the thunderous smite goes off as he will be blasted through here and into this room. Give us a
I just take what's my weapons? Serpent Sting, and in just one fell swoop, imbue the I keep wanting to call it a staff.
spear.
Spear with a thunderous smite, and then just immediately stab him right in the gut with it and unleash the magic when I do to push him through the wall.
And the boom resonates throughout this hallway that you're in.
Oh yeah, it shakes the walls.
Completely, and he goes through the wall and goes crashing into that room, and hangs on the ground, and stuff's falling down on him. All right, so now we'll go to initiative, and you get to go again because you go in 19, and you're top of the pops, it seems.
Good. I would like to double check something really quick. Okay, so I am still concentrating on this thing. Well, this is the first time you hit, so I guess it dispels. I don't think I continue to get Thunder Smite after the first hit.
I think it's just one hit. Yeah,
it's just for the one hit. Yeah. I'm just.
Like you can maintain it for a while, but once
I haven't used it in such a long time, I couldn't remember the rule on it. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to, with Serpent Sting, immediately go in and stab the next closest one, so that there's really not too much going on out here.
You attack the one in the hallway that's next.
I'm attacking the ones that are next to us so that we have a clear route of escape. Not that I'm worried about these guys.
Perfect. No worries. So you come up to him. He's got his mace that he's trying to pull out and his dagger on his other hand.
Yeah, absolutely not. Serpent Sting again. That's a total of 18 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, I'm still two-handed, so 1d8 plus 7. That is a total of 9 points of damage.
Nice.
And I actually get 2 attacks.
Yes.
So I'm going to do it again.
Fuck him up. Fuck him up.
Yo.
That is 22 to hit.
That's beautiful.
And another 9 points of damage to the same guy, if he's still alive.
Yep, he is.
Okay. And that is my turn.
All right. You are aware, just to make sure, you are aware that there's a spell you can do with that spear, right? Just because it might not be clear. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
There's only 2 charges a day, correct?
Yeah.
And we have a whole other session after this one.
I was just letting you know because I didn't know if because it's kind of hidden on the thing that I made, so I just want to make sure that you knew.
It shows up in my spells list, so I was able to find it easily. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Going at 12 then, Noir.
Oh, cool. Noir's
so yeah,
gonna
you definitely see that your necrophage is kind of spreading through this whole thing. You can almost feel like it's groaning and kind of moaning, and like there's some sort of sound coming from it as it's vibrating and quivering wetly in front of you.
Cool. Quivering wetly in front of me. All right. So, I think
just another
Noir,
Saturday at the bathhouse.
I think Noir is mostly like how dare, like there's no the Red Sister he's like let down, like visibly disappointed that it was so easy to like shake this power, right? And so he's gonna kind of turn to the creature next to him that's like swinging a mace at him, and just like kind of grin and cock his head. And I think, oh man, yeah, he's gonna like take the staff still dripping and whatever blood from the
gore,
and just take this dark serpentine almost moving head and just kind of come up under his swing and strike him.
Go for it.
That's a 25 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. So that is 8, 6. Hold on a second. Yeah. 6. What kind of damage is it? Bludgeoning damage?
Yeah, if you're hitting with it.
Yeah. I think that's his turn, and he's just gonna stand there like kind of like now his smile has faded and he looks at this priest and goes, "You are so disappointing."
How much damage was that? Sorry.
6 bludgeoning, 6 damage.
All
Magical
right.
bludgeoning damage. Is that true? Hold on a second.
It's the
Yeah,
same
yep,
to him.
Yep.
Okay, no problem. You smoke it. You get him in the downside. At 6, Gaithra, what do you do?
All right. So basically all the priests looking like they're going to start.
Oh
Coming
yeah,
for
they're
us,
all
yeah.
like heretics.
This guy in the southern corner, I'm going to rush towards him. And as I'm rushing towards him, I'm going to pull my great axe off of my back and take a swing. 18.
It's
For 18.
nice.
How's he looking?
Still there.
All right, I swing again.
Go over it.
14.
To hit.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm an idiot. Ooh, ouch. 14 to hit, though. Thanks for cursing me.
No problem. I actually managed to miss this dude in a robe.
It's pretty embarrassing.
You hit him with one and he kind of just doesn't fall the way you expect him to. So when you're coming on the backswing,
Okay.
you miss him. Do you want to do anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All right. At 3, it's Darkath and all these guys. Darkath, do you want to go first?
Yes, question. In this hallway here that I'm in, where are the light sources? How is this place lit?
Well, it's lit because there's a light source obviously coming from atop the door.
Okay.
There's light source there, and then there's from these 2 rooms, and then the light that's coming in from there. So the only light that's in the corridor is up here.
Okay.
And then there's light coming in from these 2 side doors, and then there's the light that's coming in from there.
Okay. I am going to, and it's just like a torch, right? This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, it would be like a lamp. I mean,
Like
what do you
a
want it to be? If you want it to be a torch, it's a torch.
I just want to control flames and snuff it.
Yeah. There's a it's a lamp, but there's a flame in there.
Okay, perfect. I am going to just stop coughing and get up and look at all that's going on after the thunderous smite. I'm just like, oh, I guess it's time to get ready. And I'm going to snap my fingers, and behind me, the light's going to shut off. I guess it's now dim and darker, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then I'm just going to stretch my hand out a little bit, and from the air, I'm just going to grasp a shadow blade, and I'm just going to hold this position here and kind of yell over to Clavia that she should come over here and we can secure the exit. And that'll be my turn.
All right. So at 3, they all start to kind of shake, and they all start to kind of start yelling. And Gethra, you recognize this because you've seen plenty of people go into barbarian rages before. And all of these priests, so incensed at your hereticness and that you've dared injure the Red Sister this way, all sort of work themselves up into like a raging frenzy and just start coming at y'all with the mace and the daggers, just screaming incoherently as they do, as they all rage. Because that's what they do. Rage. Let's do it. All right. So they're coming at you live. All right. So, Clavia, you got one in front of you. With his mace gets put it to the 17, and with his dagger gets 15. Does any of that hit?
Yeah.
I'm attacking Clavia. Clavia? Are you there?
I forgot I had both mute things on, and I was like, wait, it's my turn again already? Oh my god.
No, you're being attacked. You're being
I'm
attacked.
being attacked. My armor class is 22.
All right, so they miss as they swing, as it swings at you wildly and misses. Darkath, one coming in at you, armor class 15 and armor class 17.
Both hit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pop shield.
All right.
I pop a shield. My AC is 19.
Okay, awesome. Good job. Well done. So that takes care of that one who has charged you. This one's attacking Gaethra. This one will come for you also. These will go there. These one will start heading there. So 2 on Gaethra and 2 on Noir. So Gaethra, first one. 24
Yeah, that hits.
and 18
They both hit.
and 14 and 22.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, that was on Gaethra still.
Oh my god.
So 14 misses, 22 hits. All right. So from the second one, are you raging? I don't remember if you're raging or not.
No, I'm not. Mm-mm.
All right. So 6 piercing damage. And then from the maces, you take 8 bludgeoning and 5 bludgeoning. One of them will expend a charge, and I will ask you to make a Wisdom DC 15 save.
$18, 23.
All right, awesome. You felt almost like a wave of fear come over you, but you clamped down on it, and you resisted the fear. All right. They have swung, and they have connected. Back up to Clavia on your turn. What do you do?
Okay. Also, my AC is actually 20 right now.
Okay.
I know it still beat the rolls, but I forgot that my shield was equipped on D&D Beyond when it shouldn't have been.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure I kill the guy in front of me because I'm over this.
Okay.
Going to swing Serpent Sting again. Not 20. 14, so that doesn't hit. Correct?
14 does not hit them. You need 15 to hit them.
Attack number 2. 21 to hit.
That hits.
I know, I just wanted to hear you say it. A 10 piercing damage.
All right. That does the job.
Okay. Good.
You lift him up and drop him on the ground.
Oh, yeah, I'm not carrying that dead weight around. I
You
kick
want-
him off my spear.
Do you want to move?
I would like to move directly up to this individual,
Okay.
so that now he has 2 people directly next to him to worry about.
Okay.
I'm just trying to clear out this hallway. The guy that I knocked into the other room, he's just kind of out for the count, huh?
Yeah, he's gone also.
Okay.
12 Noir.
Okay, great. One point of order: did those 2 that are on me actually not attack me, or were they supposed to?
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. You got lucky.
Because I thought they were attacking me twice before, and then they didn't. when
You
it
got
was
lucky.
actually yeah. All right.
Take it and move on.
Oh well. Okay. Is there one of these priests that looks a little bit more in charge than any other ones?
No, they all look to be pretty much like kind of hive mindish.
Great. I am. I'm gonna back up, and I'll take those 2 opportunity attacks just very casually. Noir is gonna sort of step backwards up the steps. Like eerily good at walking backwards. Actually,
He
like
really
his
is.
physiology is.
He's got all the
strange.
eyes. Yep.
And I'm going to Hunger of Hadar. Everybody except for the people that aren't in front of Gaithra. So it's 20 feet across. Nope, that's a lie. It's a 20-foot radius, so it's actually 40 feet across. Which should put I'm trying to get the 5 that aren't on Gaithra and are still in this creepy.
You'll be able to get them, no problem.
In this like the inky, starry blackness of space with like a little sounds coming from inside of it.
Can you even do it without hitting the innocence? All right, what does that do to them?
I don't care. No, what are you innocence? What are you talking about? Get them in there. Get everybody in there.
What does that do to him?
Well, nothing yet.
Okay.
But everybody that's in it is blinded. So they can't see.
All right, you start hearing some surprised yells from inside that pile. Gaithra at 6.
My brain left my body for a moment. All right. I'm going to swing at the guy I already did damage from. But first, because he hit me, I'm pretty fucking pissed and I rage.
All right.
All right. At first swing is a 29. So I'm going to go ahead and say I hit him.
Yep.
Probably a safe bet.
How much? I get +2 to damage when raging, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I do 12 damage to him.
Okay.
He's still up?
Nope, you split him in half.
Oh, I like that. What a vibe. I turn to the other guy and swing and hit with a 16.
16 hits.
All right. And 13 damage.
Okay. Nice. That's good. Okay. 3. Darka.
All right. So I'm going to swing my Shadow Blade and just do some swift maneuvers and try to slice at this guard over here.
All right.
I guess I'm at advantage because it's a Shadow Blade and it's dark and also flanking.
Sure.
So what is it? Dexterity +2. So that's a 9. That's going to be nothing.
But did you roll an advantage?
Oh no, I didn't. You're right. I just said it. Nice. It's now 7. This game hates me, honestly.
Your dice are the real villain.
I need to stop using the real dice. I need to go back to digital dice. I'm never rolling these again. And then after that, I am actually going to yell one more time that we should probably get the fuck out of the big room. And just that's going to be my turn.
Okay. So 3 are all going to go. I'm going to start with Noir this time. No, I'll start with Gaithra.
Everybody. Oh, sorry. You can do the Gaithra stuff, and then I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to do the Gaithra stuff first. Armor class 20, dirty 20 on Gaithra, and armor class 13 will probably miss.
1 hit then, yeah.
So Gaithra, that's 9, so you take half damage.
What kind of Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just regular bludgeoning.
Is it rounded up or down?
Rounded down.
Okay.
And then I'll do this guy, and then we'll take care of the people in the Hunger of Hadar. He's going to attack Clavia because, well, she hurt him a lot. It's a 19, which misses, and a 13, which misses. So
Yep.
a lot of swinging wildly at you, and you deftly dodging and taking some on your armor. So what happens in the darkness there?
Everybody that's in the darkness takes 10 cold damage at the top of their turn.
All right.
And it is difficult terrain, so their movement is halved, and they cannot see. And if they end their turn in it, they also take some more damage.
Okay.
That's a good spell.
What a good spell, right?
These
I
guys are
love
pretty
that
much
spell.
screwed.
Oh,
Me
These
too.
guys are pretty much
It's a
screwed.
favorite.
I'll say that this guy makes it out. The others are pretty much screwed. He'll come out. He'll come at you. Swinging for... Man, I never rolled this good when I'm playing. 19 and 21 on you.
Yeah, those both hit.
the hell are these rolls, Bleak?
I know. 7 damage.
Sure.
And
Is it normal?
yeah. And 4 damage. And give me a wisdom save, 15, please.
So that was 11 total damage?
Yep.
Save. I rolled an 11 on my wisdom save.
All right. Do you want to spend that advantage you got and make a reroll?
Oh, hell yeah, I do. I rolled an 11 on my wisdom save.
It's very rare that you feel fear, but as this person hits you, you feel this cold dread sort of seep into you, and suddenly you see the whole world being swallowed by this tide of red blood, and it's coming for you, and it swallows you, and it goes into your mouth and your nose and your ears, and it's just drowning you. And next thing you know, you realize you're screaming in fear as you're running away out of that room.
Shit.
And back inside, they take another 10 points.
Well, no, so they have to make a dex save.
Okay.
Or they take another 7 points.
Okay.
Which I'm rolling really
You hear
good damage.
screams of pain and rage in there. All right. Back up to the top will be Clavia. You see Noir come running out, rah, screaming in pain, screaming in fear.
Oh. Okay. I clock that, but is the red priest that did that to him, are they like pursuing
Yeah.
Noir?
It's this one here.
Okay. Oh, he's too far for me to reach though.
No, you can move wherever you want. I don't do movement.
Right. But you do opportunity attacks, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh
Nah,
yeah.
he can't hit
Oh
me
yeah.
anyway. He can't hit me anyway.
Oh, he
I'm
can.
going to kind of step around Noir, just however much range I can do. I think I can. Do I have reach with a spear?
No, I don't think you can hit at 10 feet, but you can move all the way up to him. Like, I don't count movement. You
Okay.
can run all the way
I
to
will
the-
just. Well, I was only going to move as far as I needed to in order to stop him.
You would have to.
So
you would have to
I do have to get within 5 feet of him. So I will hit him now.
Go for it.
That's a nat 20. Plus 10, 30.
Ooh.
So full damage plus
Go.
roll.
Ooh.
Okay, so full damage. So, oh god, I have to do math in my head now. What is it? Okay.
Well, your full damage is your dice, right? So
Yeah, so it would be 15. And then what? Do I double it?
no.
Is
So
that how you do crits
you do
or?
8, your max damage with your die is 8, so you do 8, and then
Mhm.
roll you d8 and add 7.
Oh, and then okay, so
So you roll
I do
normally
8.
and then add your full dice to it.
okay, so 15. Right? Am I
15
Plus a D8.
misunderstanding? Plus a D8.
Yeah.
Another one, 16.
All right. How do you want to do this?
Oh, I just full on gut the guy.
As he's charging you?
Just no, yeah, I just straight through and rip it back out. No flourish, no nothing, just murder.
He thought he put this guy on the run, but
Mm.
he was gutted to find out that it wasn't so.
I would like to turn around for my second attack and go to this other guy.
Go for it.
That's only a 12. It's not going to hit.
Righty-o. All right. So you miss him. Cool. Nice. 12. Noir, you're running away, but you can make another wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's 21.
Nice. So you realize you're running away in fear, but you don't understand why you're afraid.
Huh? And I'm not afraid anymore?
Nope.
Does that happen at the end of my turn, or does that happen at the beginning of my turn?
I'll happen at the beginning, let's say.
Oh, so I can do something.
Sure, go for it.
I want to walk up and like shake my head, and there's a Clavia and a Darkhath. And I'm going to just look at both of them, kind of like a little creep. Thank you. And I'm going to Eldritch Blast this guy.
Go for it.
Like I'm going to not right up. I'm going to be like, a little bit back if he's engaged.
No
Oh,
problem.
come on. Point blanket. Right to the face.
Old Faithful.
Right, you're
Oh,
going to get your clothes dirty.
That's a 15.
That hits.
And then 21.
That hits.
Okay, cool. So that's 2d2. Yeah. So 10, 16, 24 force damage.
All right.
Oh, shit. I should have hexed him first. That's fine. We'll just let it ride.
Dinner, but don't need to, as that finishes him off.
Great. We can say it's point blank. Like I'll still be saying thank you and just like hold my hand up and then just like black waves just pulse out.
Gaithra, you're alone in that room now. You hear screaming from that big ball of empty darkness that's kind of sitting over there. And there's one guy still in front of you looking like he's...
That's about how I feel right now. I'm just
You're both...
full of rage. You say I hear things, but all I hear is whoa, 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 while I swing my great axe again in his face. Another 16.
That's good.
14, so 16 total.
That hits. How damage?
Yeah, damage.
All right. Go for your second swing.
Oh, 25.
That's good.
17.
All right. You finish him off with the backswing of your axe. He falls to the ground. Blood for the Red Sister. His blood seeps out. Merges into the pool with all the other blood. All right, and at 3, Darkhath, everyone in the hallway is dead. You hear some more screaming and pain from the other room. What would you like to do?
Did Gaithra move after her turn?
Oh,
No, I once I finish this guy off, I see him fall at my feet. I'm like looking around the room for something to murder. But I just see the darkness creeping into this room, and I'm just kind of standing there like...
There's that giant kind of thing of flesh there that looks like it's sucking up the blood and kind of drinking. That looks like something that could probably like take a
whack.
Yeah, maybe.
A couple whacks.
Maybe. Fire or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's something to think about.
I was thinking that. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of standing there like, I see the darkness creeping in. I'm just like heaving breaths in my rage that I even let one of those assholes touch me. And I'm just staring at this big amorphous breathing blob.
All right, Darkhath at 3.
So I look over to Noir and Calvia, and I'm just like, I kind of want to blast a giant spell right now, but Gaithra's in there, and she doesn't really... She take it very personally. I mean, she takes everything very personally. So I don't know what to do here, guys. Kind of cleared the hall, and I thank you for that. So I'm just gonna shoot the big mass of flesh. Let's see how this goes, and I'm just gonna firebolt it and see what happens.
All right. No problem. You can miss it, so just give me the damage.
Okay. 2d10.
Can't miss, you say.
Is that a challenge?
It's not going anywhere. It's huge, and it's just sitting there. I practiced
Sorry.
these noises just before the game.
Let me just make sure I got the right die here. Because this thing is lagging online. There we go.
D&D Beyond is lagging for you too.
Yeah, it's really rough right now.
Oh no, we've lost creep.
No, we lost a creep.
10 damage total.
No.
Oh no.
He'll come back. All right, these things happen. No need to panic. You fire a fireball that comes shrieking out across the room. It hits this thing. You can hear this massive cry of pain as the flames start to ripple through it and just start to eat it up. And you can see this flame spreading really quickly through those sort of weird vines that are hanging onto the thing. And it's just spreading all around as it's eating. And you hear like this kind of sound as this thing is quivering and the flames are sort of crawling all over it. I will just narrate the rest of this. You don't hear any more sound coming from the Hunger Vidar thing as those guys have kind of knocked into each other and I finally sort of fallen prey to it. This thing will start to burn. I'm assuming Gaithor was going to do something to it too. So whatever Gaithor will put back on it, well, then it'll sort of quiver and start to kind of, as it burns and becomes all black and sort of calcinated, it'll go like, and you hear this cry of pain emanating from it, and all the blood that's around just sort of, and this thing kind of folds in on itself. And Noir, you've seen like weird stuff before, and when this thing really kind of starts to fold in on itself like this, and all the blood and all the sort of weird vines and all that kind of start bringing, the fire's just burning, and eventually this thing just sort of rolls and disappears into itself, and all that's left behind are scorch marks all over the empty baths and the blood stains that have become encrusted in the ground and in the stonework and in the grout of these baths from like years of this business sort of going on, and little bits of charred flesh here and there, and it smells like you had the worst barbecue ever, like all this just viscera that's been burned completely, and this thing just sort of disappears, and it's almost like there was almost nothing there, and you feel Noir like some sort of dimensional portal thing that's kind of like occurred or something. This thing hasn't died. It's gone back to wherever it sort of comes from.
I see Calvia kind of covered in blood from sword, and Noir also just after killing the person right in front of me, and I'm like just perfectly clean, and I just blew this thing up. I just look at the two of them. I'm like, you're welcome, guys.
Such a jerk.
I already said thank you.
So
And
you'll do
Noir-
a quick we're almost done here, running out of time, so you'll do a quick search of the area. You don't find anything remotely resembling a silver sword. You find evidence that for the past day or so they've been really busy with this sort of ritual that's going on, so that's why they haven't been asking for the sword or anything like that, and you get the feeling that they were in the process of feeding this thing in order to try and do something with it while everyone else was kind of busy and occupied. So you've done a good deed here today, getting rid of this thing, but you're no closer at this point to finding the sword, unfortunately. And just as a last thing here before we leave, as you step outside into the city, sort of wondering where to go next, and what track to take next, and how to go about finding the sword, you step out and you hear a voice calling at you from up on there's a little tower nearby, and from the top of that tower there's a person looking down at you. And if you want to look at the map here, the person looks like this. Looks a little bit like the Duchess did, but completely different sort of color scheme. Her skin is sort of a dark purple, and her horns are white. And she's crouching at the top of the little tower as you come out of this charnel house of death and doom that you've just sort of liquidated. And she says, well, thank you for taking care of that for me. Now, I hear you're looking for a sword. Shall we discuss?
Yeah.
And she'll motion with her head. And she'll turn around and disappear on the other side of the tower.
It's quite a forward city. I actually really admire doing business like this.
Will you follow her? I guess you will.
Oh yeah, Clavia definitely follows her.
I say that as I'm walking forward. Yeah.
Yeah, Noir's gonna follow also, but he's gonna he's gonna kind of look back for a moment before leaving this scene at the charred, fucked up remains of whatever we had, and there's gonna be a look of I don't know, longing, curiosity, just wondering what where it went, where it's from, what was going on there.
Well, you know what the Red Priests are. They're the Fortress of El Gahim in Khartoum.
All right. And he'll march off.
All right. Well, we're sort of still waiting for Creep to come back and join us. She is doing her router reset, technology, what you gonna do? I don't know. Shall we wait for her so she can say goodbye? What's going on? Do you have a line in on her?
She said in our Discord chat 5 minutes. That was 5 minutes ago. So I don't know.
It's 2
Her
minutes.
internet might be. Yeah.
If their internet dropped and it doesn't come back in a few minutes after it restarts, probably the internet's gone, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's already 11:20, so I'm going to go ahead and call it, and I'll apologize profusely to Creep later, and I'll let her introduce herself twice at the beginning of next game to make up for missing out on the end of this one. All right. So next game, you will follow this strange person and see where they take you, and hopefully perhaps get your hands on a sword without too much other trouble.
I love Bleak's games. They're always so straightforward and without turns and twists and brutality. You just know what we're getting into.
Yeah, there's no brutality in Blade Runner. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. You were fantastic. I really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun. I had some good chuckles in there. I'm going to go around again and have you introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, anything you want to plug, etc., etc. We will start with the news that is Scoozy, the creepy noir.
Hello, I'm Scoozy, and I've been having a blast playing Noir. You can find me at Scooz News on Twitter and stuff. Yeah, very excited to see Creep come back into our Zoom chat. It looks like it might be
Creep is coming back.
Did we win?
Hey, oh.
They left and they died horribly without getting there to hold back.
No game next week. We're
The
done.
red police turned blue and beat us.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, you okay? Everything all right?
So sorry for that.
Yeah, it happens.
There was a dragon. There was
Wait,
fire.
what?
Yeah.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, my bad. I won the rivalry. I won the rivalry.
The rival.
I won it.
And Noir managed to seduce Gethra, and now they're having children together, and they're getting married, and they bought a house.
Can
Noir
Noir
even
is that?
do that?
Yeah. Does that work when you're dead?
Hey,
I'm
little
not-
dead
yo,
children.
he's not
Little
dead.
Undead children rocking around.
Undead?
Undead, yeah.
I think he's maybe dead.
He's unliving
Betwixt.
is what he is.
He's just betwixt.
Yeah. You can have a bunch of little unliving children. Makes
Oh
Halloween.
my
easy.
god. Please no.
Jesus.
Makes Halloween
No.
easy. They're already
Nope.
great. No?
Nope.
You're noping out. Mandy has finally noped out of this whole thing. Scooz, were you done introducing yourself?
I think so, yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Scooz. We will go to Darling Creepshow before she disappears on us again. Darling Creepshow.
8. My router is actually just like a whole MacGyver situation with a couple toothpicks and some bubble gum. So sorry, guys. Yeah, Darling Creepshow all across the internet. Y'all know me as your favorite creep on Twitch. Yeah, play TTRPGs like D&D and I paint miniatures. I do that a lot. So
You do that well.
super stoked about how this game is going. This is like one of my first times getting to really play like that strong, stoic, silent type, and I'm really digging it.
Cool.
And I hate you, Blizzard. Coming for you.
Next game of Blade Runner. First thing, I shoot a deer.
Yep, dead. You're dead.
Speaking of Fadir, the man who plays Fadir in an alternate universe, Omar. What's up?
Hello, everyone. My name is Omar Flizzard, Nat6 on Twitter. You can catch me here. You can catch me on Blade Runner playing Fadir. And you can catch my original DMing that I do on Chaotic Wonderful. My World of Dark North is coming back. And you can all join me either here or there or talk shit on my stream with me. I do stream some video games. Going to be doing back again on Flizzard Gaming. But hit me up at Nat6. Come check out Pretty Boy Flizzy's Fire films. I hear they're fire, and you guys will enjoy.
Enjoy them before the cops come and take them, I
where the
guess.
cops coming from?
Pretty boy Flynn.
Oh my god.
And finally, the newbie whom we broke in tonight, introduced to all our craziness here, the Mandy in person.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mandy. I'm so used to doing an intro where I'm like, I'm your dungeon master for this evening, but I'm not today. I'm all over the internet under the same name, the Mandy. Seriously, just Google me. It's very easy. I stream on Fridays, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a professional DM and a professional D&D player. I'm also in the process of opening up a casting call starting next week for my homebrew campaign starting next year. It's going to be very, very challenging. So if there's anybody out there, I see a lot of familiar names in chat. Anybody who's interested, keep an eye on my Twitter for that.
Yep, totally.
And thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. I don't get to play very often, so it's really nice.
No problem. We'll certainly be happy to have you again at some point if you're interested. But we're not done yet. There's still more to come
No
next
more.
week.
Yes.
I am the Bleakseason. Can be found at the Bleakseason on Twitters. Shout out to our producer Andy 3D3G3D. How do you do it, Andy? Put your thing in there, Andy. Put your thing in there so people can find you. Thank you so much, Andy.
That's what she said.
Oh, finally. God.
God, Jesus, there's been
Holding that in
so
for the entire
fucking many
game.
tonight.
Just so you know, people, if you invite Creep to your stream, this is what happens.
It better be mature rated.
All sense of
has to be.
decorum
It
and
has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
fly
Yeah.
out the window.
I bring the ruckus. What do you want from me? Do this.
you are the
You signed up for this.
I guess I did.
She's got beef and she brought the ruckus.
Just beef ruckus.
That's why they call me the Big D creep.
All right. And with that, we got a ton of stuff going on at Guild Superior. Sunday, we have DM Dave, Dungeon Dave, the maestro of all things weird and wacky, doing his CGRPG playtest run through D&D 5e of Skullfort. Last game was quite awesome as the heroes got into all sorts of shenanigans. So please check in with that. On Monday, we have a brand new Monday Night Mayhem game starting. DM Mike's Monsters Hunting, game where beasts hunt bigger beasts. And after that, on Tuesday, Greyhawk, our ongoing Greyhawk game. Unfortunately, Minnesota Muse will not be there with us next week. She's off on vacation being a mermaid somewhere in the Baltic Sea or something like that. But we will be there with DM Dave again, flying us straight, and come back here next Thursday for part 2 of Ophidian, Chapter 5, Shadesong Saga. And with that, we're out. Thank you very much. We love you.
Bye, all you lovely humans.
Toodles.